Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Am I visible and audible? Am I audible and visible? Good afternoon. Usna, good afternoon. Gugila, good afternoon. Am I audible and visible? Okay, thank you, Mrinal. Yeah, thank you, thank you. So, last weekend I had covered topics in medieval India up to Vijayanagara. I had finished Vijayanagara, almost finished, I would say. We spoke about what happened to the Vijayanagara Empire after the death of Krishnadevaraya. We discussed the first three dynasties, the Sangama dynasty, the Saluva dynasty, and the the Sangama dynasty, the Saluva dynasty, and the Tuluva dynasty. So we discussed these three dynasties: Sangama, Sangama dynasty, Saluva dynasty, and the Tuluva dynasty. And the greatest of the Vijayanagar kings belonged to the Tuluva dynasty, Krishnadevaraya. So we discussed everything about Krishnadevaraya. Important kings of the Sangama dynasty were Harihara the first, Bukka the first, Devaraya the first, and Devaraya the second. So I spoke to you about the origin of the kingdom of Vijayanagara, the Telugu origin theory, the Kannada origin theory, various sources for the study of Vijayanagara, like coins, the travelogues. Various travelers came visiting Vijayanagara, like Ibn Battuta, Duarte Eduardo Barbosa, Domingo Paz, Fernão Nunes, etc. So all these travelers in their language spoke about Vijayanagara. They give us a lot of information about the political, social, economic conditions of Vijayanagara, how rich this kingdom was, etc. So we discuss all those things. Inscriptions are another source of information. Inscriptions written on stones as well as on copper plates. Then coins. Vijayanagar kings issued a number of coins in gold, silver, copper. So they also serve as a sort of source of authentic information for the study of Vijayanagara. And of course, number of temples which the Vijayanagar kings built. Even now, a number of temples built by the Vijayanagar kings are present in present day Karnataka, parts of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra. So these temples also give us a lot of information about Vijayanagara. Yeah, all of you, hello. So today I would want to finish the pending portions of Vijayanagara and medieval India. This is the last chapter I'm doing with respect to medieval India. Once I finish this chapter, we'll discuss the questions which have come from this chapter and other topics pertaining to this chapter, and then we'll go to art and culture. We'll start with art and culture. I'll give you an overview of art and culture today, and then of course we'll start with a few topics of art and culture. So all of you, are you there with me? Ready? Long day to go. So audible and visible. Once again, can I begin? Can we move on? If you can raise your hands. Yeah, Shilpa, thank you. Hemalata, good afternoon. So let's continue. So we looked at Manish, hello, Mrinal. So here we looked at the Battle of Talikota. What happened after the Battle of Talikota? After the death of Krishnadevaraya, we have Achyutaraya, his half brother, succeeding to the throne. After the death of Krishnadevaraya dies in 1529, as you all know. He ruled for 20 years, and he was succeeded by his half brother Achyutaraya. Then after Achyutaraya, we have a nephew of Achyutaraya by name Sadashivaraya. He became the Vijayanagar king. And during his period, all the powers were in the hands of the son-in-law of Krishnadevaraya, namely Ramaraya. Ramaraya was the son-in-law of Krishnadevaraya. All the powers were in his hands. And he has been blamed, Ramaraya has been blamed for the destruction of Vijayanagara. He would play one Bahmani Sultan against another, so that there is no unity amongst these sultans. They're always kept busy fighting against each other. Now, what was his calculation, as I told you? He wanted Vijayanagara to be the most powerful in that area. So he wanted Vijayanagara to be the most powerful kingdom in that area and his power behind the throne intact. He was the kingmaker at Vijayanagara, Aliya Ramaraya, the son-in-law of Krishnadevaraya. So ultimately the sultans came to know about this. Who was responsible behind their bickerings, became behind their constant conflict. And out of the five Bahmani sultans, four joined together. Minus Birar, we have Golconda, Ahmednagar, Bijapur, and Bidar. They joined together. The alliance was formed by the Golconda Sultan, Ibrahim Qutub Shah. Ibrahim Qutub Shah of Golconda formed a grand alliance. And these are the various representatives of this alliance. Ashrita, why morning batch classes are not taking place? I have no idea. I asked this question. I was told that there are a number of batches running. But one batch, I suppose your batch, maybe, I don't know what is the reason. So I'm not the concerned person, right? So I have forwarded the mail. Many students sent me a mail. I forwarded it to the concerned people. I presume they must have replied it to you, right? So the number of batches are running parallelly. So I'm not very sure about this. I was on a small break, a family function. I was on a break for about 4-5 days, and then I'm back. I was also very exhausted. So I had asked for a break, and they gave me a holiday of about 4-5 days, and I'm today starting, after about 4-5 days of break. So I don't know what has happened, right? So you mail me whatever is the query. I'll forward it to the concerned people. That's what I can tell you. So we'll come back here. So Ibrahim Qutub Shah of Golconda formed a grand alliance. You have the four other sultans, that is the Ahmednagar Sultan Hussain Nizam Shah, Ali Adil Shah of Bijapur, Golconda Sultan Ibrahim Qutub Shah, and Ali Barid, the Bidar Sultan. They were all part of this alliance. And minus Birar. Birar was not invited. Burhan Imad Shah of Birar was not invited. And then happened the Talikota War. In this Talikota War, or the Battle of Rakkasagi Tangadagi. It's called Battle of Rakkasagi Tangadagi. These were two villages. The battlefield was between two villages. So if this is the battlefield, these are the two villages of Rakkasagi and Tangadagi, R and T. So the battlefield was here in between these two villages, Rakkasagi and Tangadagi. Therefore, also called Battle of Rakkasagi and Tangadagi, or Bannihatti, sometimes also called the Talikota War. Though Talikota was more a place where all the Bahmani armies congregated. About 50 kilometers away from the main battlefield, they congregated, and then they moved towards the battlefield. And then happened the fateful Battle of Talikota on 23rd of January 1565. Vijayanagara was getting defeated. Ramaraya was beheaded by Sultan of Ahmednagar. Hussain Nizam Shah of Ahmednagar beheaded Ramaraya. Vijayanagara was losing. She was numerically inferior to the Bahmani armies because Bahmani sultans had combined their armies together, 4 out of the 5. So Vijayanagara army was outnumbered. The king, Sadashivaraya, came running back from the battlefield along with the two younger brothers of Ramaraya. So Ramaraya, once he was beheaded, his two brothers, younger brothers, Tirumala and Venkatatri, they also came running to the battle, came to the capital, Hampe. And along with their king, Sadashivaraya, whatever whatever jewelry, wealth, treasure they could gather from the treasury, they collected all those things, dumped it on fast-moving wagons, or horse-ridden wagons, and they ran away from Hampe. They came to a place called Penukonda. They came to Penukonda. This is in the present-day Anantapur district. Present-day Anantapur district of Andhra Pradesh. So they come to Penukunda, and Sadashivaraya ruled for a few years. Till 1570 he ruled. Sadashivaraya. Sadashivaraya ruled till 1570, and once Sadashivaraya died, Then we have Tirumala and Venkatadri, the brothers of Rama Raya. They snatched the throne and they established the Aravidu dynasty. So Tirumala established the Aravidu dynasty, which ruled from Penukonda, later Chandragiri and Vellore as its capitals. So this was the Aravidu dynasty, which was established by Tirumala Raya. Right? So I stopped here last class, if you remember, Aravidu dynasty. Hello, all of you. Am I there with you? Can I move on? So once Sadashivaraya died, the brother of Ramaraya, Tirumala, seized the throne, established the Aravidu dynasty. Aravidu dynasty. So the peak of Vijayanagara, the zenith of Vijayanagara was only till 1565. The zenith or the peak of Vijayanagara was only till the Talikota battle. Then the dynasty lingered on, the kingdom lingered on till 1648. But then the zenith was over by 1565. So the Aravidu kings ruled from Penukonda, then Chandragiri near Chittor district of Andhra, and of course Vellore has their capitals. So they had these capitals in a sequential order: Penukonda, Chandragiri, Vellore, and um, um, and of course, you know, the founder was Tirumala Raya. He divided the kingdom on linguistic zones on the basis of language. So he divided the kingdom on linguistic basis, and he had three sons. He divided the kingdom of Vijayanagara on linguistic basis and he placed his sons in three different areas. For example, you can see here Sriranga, one of his sons, Tirumala's sons, he was ruling over Pelukonda, with over the Telugu area, Andhra area, or Telugu speaking areas. Rama administered the Canaries areas. Canaries is Kannada area, Kannada speaking areas. Canaries or Canaries, so Kannada speaking areas. So he ruled the Kannada speaking areas, with Srirangapatna as capital. So Srirangapatna, or Srirangapattam as it is called, has the British called it. It's very near to Mysore, about 20 kilometers from Mysore, is Srirangapatna. And then of course Venkatapati ruled over the Tamil areas, with Chandragiri as capital. So here Tirumala divided the kingdom on linguistic zones into three parts, right? And then the last representative of Vijayanagara was Sriranga. So here later he lost the capital Vellore, and then he sought shelter under Shivappa Nayaka of Keladi. So we have a small kingdom called Keladi, ruled by Shivappa Nayaka. He later sought shelter under Shivappa Nayaka. This was the end of Vijayanagara. So it lasted till 1648. So 1336 it was established. 1336 it lasted till 1648. But then the zenith was over by 1565. The peak of Vijayanagara was only till 1565, till the Talikota war. Right? And then it lingered on till 1648 under the Aravidu kings. Right? So let us look at other aspects of the rule, Vijayanagara local government. So we have the country, we have the Kannada speaking areas, and of course we have the country as such. So the country or the kingdom was divided to Kuttam into Nadu. So this was the hierarchical area under which it was divided, hierarchical zones. Kuttam, country was divided to Kuttam into Nadu into Aimbadi Maligram and Agaram. So this was pretty much the case throughout the Vijayanagar kingdom, except Kannada speaking areas. Kannada speaking areas, you have provinces subdivided into Vente into Sime into Sthala, and then Valita. So this is how it was divided in the Kannada speaking areas. So province subdivided into Vente into Sime into Sthala into Valita. Hello, are you there with me? So hierarchical subdivision. Then we have the Iyengar system. What is this Iyengar system? Every village, you see, there were 12 important officers or officials, 12 officials or functionaries, village functionaries, you can call them. So these officials performed various functions, or rather, I would say functionaries. Instead of officials, let us use the word functionaries. So in a village, we require the services of various people. For example, you require the services of a barber. We require the services of a barber. Then you have a blacksmith. A blacksmith is required. Right? A carpenter is required. Somebody who will regulate the water to the fields is required. So he was called Vetti. A Vetti is somebody who will regulate the water to the fields. So water regulator. Similarly, there might be a goldsmith. So here there are different professionals required in a village, and these professionals serve various communities. Now, in Vijayanagar Kingdom, there were a body of 12 functionaries called the Ayagars. This is called Ayagar system. Ayagars. Now, these village functionaries perform duties like the barber will cut the hair of the people, blacksmith will do whatever is related to his profession, the carpenter will go into somebody's house and he will work on the wood, etc. They were not paid anything when they were asked for their services. They were not. They would come and perform the services. He will render service, but he will not be paid anything by the person who has asked for his service. Then when are they paid? They are paid once in a year after the harvest. Okay, after the harvest. For example, let's say I'm a village resident. I'm the resident of a village. I want my hair to be cut. So I might go to the barber shop. Or if I'm a zamindar, I'm a rich person, influential person in the village, I'll ask the barber to come to my house and he'll come and cut my hair. I will not give him anything as remuneration. I will not give him anything. So in a year, I might get my hair cut maybe 7 to 8 times in a year, and I don't pay anything. But then once in a year, I give him a lump sum. After my harvest, I will give him a lump sum. So that's how these village functionaries were paid. However, they also enjoyed tax-free land grants called manyams. So they were given manyams by the government, tax-free land grants, and they could enjoy those lands for perpetuity, permanently. Okay, did you get me that? Ayagar system. So the Ayagar system in Maharashtra were called Bara Balutas. Bara Baluta. In Maharashtra, they were called Bara Balutas. Bara is 12. So these village functionaries were called Bara Balutas in Maharashtra. Hello, clear? Then we have, apart from land tax, which was the main source of income for the Vijayanagar kings, land tax, we have taxes on professions and other aspects like property tax, tax on the sale of produce, professional taxes, military contribution, taxes on marriages. So all these were a source of income for the government. Property tax on sale of produce, professional taxes, military contribution, etc. Then you see, according to Fernão Nunes and Paes, Domingo Paes and Fernão Nunes, they say that two important aspects were in the control of with the foreigners. Two important aspects were controlled by the foreigners. One is the supply of war horses, and the fireworks. That is the gunpowder and war horses. The Vijayanagar kings were dependent on the Portuguese or the Arabs, Portuguese and the Arabs. So Portuguese used to supply war horses, and Arabs used to supply gunpowder. And totally, the Vijayanagar kings were dependent on these two people, the Portuguese and the Arabs, for gunpowder and war horses. Right? And of course, I told you the treaty entered by Krishnadevaraya with Alfonso the Albuquerque. Albuquerque sent his ambassador Friar Louis to the court of Krishnadevaraya. A treaty was signed wherein in 1511 it was signed, wherein every year 10,000 war horses, Arabian war horses, had to be sent to Vijayanagara by the Portuguese, and it was received at Bhatkal, the port of Bhatkal, and from Bhatkal it was taken to Hampe. And Vijayanagara kings used to give very generous amount of money to the Portuguese traders, for supplying war horses. Then, of course, you have rise of social consciousness. Rulers try to protect the Varnashrama Dharma, that is Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, that was there, Varnashrama Dharma. So we have a number of corruptions in the society. Untouchability was there, slavery was there, prostitution was there. We have seen this, where it was a recognized profession, prostitution, and the taxes collected from the prostitutes went on to pay the salaries of the police officials of Vijayanagara. So these corruptions existed in society, and we have people like Vemana, Kanakadasa, Sarvagna, Kapilar. They all led a crusade. And, they raised their voice against these corruptions in the society, against caste restrictions, untouchability, etc. So Kanakadasa was also a contemporary of Krishnadevaraya. He was living around the time when Krishnadevaraya was there. Right? So this is about Vijayanagara. So we have some administrative terminologies. Rayasa Swami was the chief secretary. Rayaswamy, Chief Secretary, Sasanacharya drafted the oral orders of the king. So when the king gave certain orders, it was like a PA. Sasanacharya was like a PA, personal assistant of the king. So he will draft the oral orders of the king, write down the oral orders. Then Talayari performed police duties, and Athavana was related to trade and commerce. Right? Rajiv, what about PPT? What about PPT, Rajiv? I did not understand your question. Rajiv? Hello? Hello, Rajiv? What is the matter? PDF notes. I have no idea about these things, Rajiv. It has not been sent to you. It's not been sent to you, students. You have not received the PPTs or PDF notes. Okay. Not opening. Can you refresh and see? Can you refresh and see? Can you refresh and check up? I'll just talk to the concerned person. Just hold on. Just give me 1 minute. I'll mute my voice, and I'll go off screen. Just 1 minute. Yeah. Hello. Are you there? I'm back. Yeah, I have informed the concerned people. Let's see. I have told them your query. Yeah, I have informed. Let us see. No, they should do it now. So let us move to other topics as part of this chapter. Other regional kingdoms. So between the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. Are you clear with Vijayanagara, all of you? So revise Vijayanagara. It's an important topic in your exam. Every year they keep asking questions about from Vijayanagara topic. Almost every year. So the Ashtadikajas, important kings, administrative terminologies, etc. So let us come to other regional kingdoms. So between the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate, when was the Delhi Sultanate established? 1206. Delhi Sultanate was lasted from 1206 to 1526. Right, that is still the establishment of the Mughal Empire. Now, during this period, between the 13th and the middle of the 16th century, a number of kingdoms were established in North India, North and other parts of India. So these are the various kingdoms, as you can see: Bahmani Sultanate, the five Bahmani kingdoms. One became five. One Bahmani kingdom was a huge kingdom which got divided into 5 states. I told you last class how it happened. Hassan Gangu, one of the officers under Muhammad bin Tughlaq, rebelled against him, and he established the Bahmani kingdom with Gulbarga as capital. And the Bahmani kingdom later got divided into 5 states, 5 sultanates: Bijapur, Golconda, Ahmednagar, Bidar, Birar. So we'll talk about it, the 5 Bahmani kingdoms. Then the Eastern Gangas of Orissa, the Shah Mir dynasty, which ruled Kashmir, the Sharki dynasty, which ruled Jaunpur, the Ilya Shahis of Bengal, the Malwa Sultanate, the Ahom kingdom, or which ruled Assam, present-day Assam, Gujarat Sultanate, or what is known as the Muzaffarid dynasty, which ruled Gujarat, the Khandesh Sultanate, which ruled Madhya Pradesh, the Kachwahas, who ruled over Amer or Jaipur, present-day Jaipur, then the Rathors of Marwar, the Rathors or the Gahadwalas or Rathors of Marwar, and the Sisodias of Mewar. So important things about these dynasties, founder or maybe temples they built, wars they fought. Okay, such things we'll discuss. We'll come back here. Bahmani Sultanate. So I told you Vijayanagara was established in 1336 by two brothers, Harihara and Bukka, or Hakka Bukka as they're called, Harihara and Bukka. And in the neighboring area, that is in 1347, another officer of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, his name was Hassan Gango. He rebelled against Muhammad bin Tughlaq and established the Bahmani kingdom with Gulbarga as capital. So Gulbarga became the capital, and Hassan Gango took the title Abdul Muzaffar Alauddin Bahman Shah. Abdul Muzaffar Alauddin Bahman Shah, and he makes Gulbarga. Gulbarga is in northern part of Karnataka, present day northern part of Karnataka, though he called it as Asanabad. So this was the old name of Gulbarga, Asanabad. He makes it his capital. Later, it was shifted. The capital was shifted from Gulbarga to Bidar by Ahmad Shah Wali. Another king called Ahmad Shah Wali of the Bahamanis shifted the capital from Gulbarga to Bidar. And we have seen this, the Bahamani kingdom fought against Vijayanagara over this area, the Krishna Tungabhadra basin. So this became the bone of contention, Krishna Tungabhadra basin. They also fought over two more areas, the Krishna Godavari delta and the Konkan coast. So Bahamani Sultanate was one huge sultanate, I told you last class. Just to recap, we have great kings like Firuz Shah Bahamani, Ahmad Shah Wali, Ibrahim Adil, Muhammad Shah III. So these are some of the important kings of the Bahamani Sultanate, apart from the founder, Alauddin Bahman Shah. And later it got split up into five pieces. Got divided into five pieces. I told you how the Deccani nobles conspired against the Sultan, against Mahmud Gawan. So there was a minister called Mahmud Gawan under Muhammad Shah III. And the Deccani Muslims, the local Muslims, were very jealous of this foreign minister called Mahmud Gawan. So they conspired against him, and they got this minister Mahmud Gawan executed. That broke the heart of the Sultan also once he came to know that he had punished and executed an innocent man. And within a year, the Sultan Muhammad Shah also died. Do you remember that? Last class I told you the story. Okay. So one became five. One got divided into five. Right? Clear? Hello? So let us look at the important kings. Tajuddin Firuz Shah Bahamani. Tajuddin Firuz Shah Bahamani. Yeah, thank you. Tajuddin Firuz Shah Bahamani. He defeated Devaraya the first, married Devaraya's daughter, received Bankapur in the Doab as dowry, the Krishna Tungabhadra Doab as dowry, but that did not stop enmity between the father-in-law and the son-in-law. He was later defeated by Devaraya the first. We have seen that. He built an observatory at Daulatabad. So it's all factual information, as you can see here. Go through it. So he built an observatory at Daulatabad or Devagiri. Tajuddin Firuz Shah Bahamani. Then we have Ahmad Shah Wali. So he's called Wali or Saint. He's called Wali or Saint because he was a disciple of the Sufi saint called Khwaja Bande Nawaz Gesudaras. So when Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted the capital from Delhi to Devagiri, South India, which was renamed Daulatabad, this one of the Sufi saints who traveled all the way from Delhi to South India was this Khwaja Bande Nawaz Gesudaras. Of course, Muhammad bin Tughlaq reshifted the capital, but the Saint Gesudaras never went back to Delhi. He stayed back in South India. He died at Gulbarga. He has been buried there. And his dargah is pretty popular. Hindus and a lot of other communities also visit the dargah apart from the Muslims. So Ahmad Shah, the Sultan, was a disciple of Gesudaras. And since he led a very spiritual life, mostly spending his time in spiritual pursuits, humanitarian pursuits, he is called Wali. And he was the one who shifted the capital from Gulbarga to Bidar. Ahmad Shah Wali. Then this is the tomb of Ahmad Shah Wali. You can see here in Ashtur, Bidar, present-day Bidar in Karnataka. The tomb of Ahmad Shah Wali, Bahamani. And the Sultan is considered to be a saint himself. So I put a picture which came in Frontline magazine, February 2023. I have put the date of the frontline issue. So this is supposed to be the descendant of the Bahmani Sultan, this man with a skull cap, Sultan Khalil Shah Bahmani. Right, and so you can see the grave, the dargah, the tomb of Ahmad Shah Wali. This is a tomb. So Hindus also go there and worship. He's considered to be a saint. Then Muhammad Shah III, under whom he had a very loyal minister called Mahmud Gawan. So Mahmud Gawan was the Wakil. He had been made the Wakil or Prime Minister. Wakil. He had been made the Prime Minister or Wakil by Sultan Muhammad Shah III, and he conquered the Krishna Tungabhadra, the Krishna Godavari Delta. So he was a great warrior. He expanded the Bahmani kingdom into an empire. But since he was an Afaki, he was a foreigner, he was hated by the local Muslims, the Deccani Muslims. So the Deccani Muslims, the Deccani nobles, were jealous of Gawan, who was an Afaki. Afaki is a foreigner. Afaki. So they conspired against Mahmud Gawan and got him executed. And of course, we have Mahmud Gawan, who built a college or a madrasa at Bidar. So this was on the lines of the university at Persia or Iran. So there was a lovely university there. On the same lines, he built a university here or a college here at Bidar. This is the madrasa of Mahmud Gawan in Bidar. On your screen, you can see a picture here. So UPSC had asked this question in one of the prelims. The madrasa means college. So this was built by Mahmud Gawan in Bidar, and it had attracted students from various parts of West Asia also, right? And then I told you the Deccani nobles conspired against him, got him executed. And within a year, the Sultan Muhammad Shah also died because it broke his heart. He had punished an innocent man like Gawan. And the breakup process accelerated after that. So the Bahmani Sultanate, which was one huge empire, split up into 5 states. And the last representative of the Bahmani Empire was this man, Shahabuddin Muhammad Shah. Shahabuddin Muhammad Shah. So it split up into 5 independent kingdoms. So on your screen, you can see the Imad Shahis of Birar, the Barid Shahis of Bidar, the Nizam Shahis of Ahmednagar, the Adil Shahis of Bijapur, and the Qutub Shahis of Golconda. So 1 became 5. Right? So let us look at that again. So Birar, ruled by the Imad Shahi dynasty. So Birar ruled over present-day region of Maharashtra. So Birar ruled over present-day region of Maharashtra, and later Ahmednagar Sultanate conquered Birar. So Ahmednagar is also in Maharashtra. Remember that way. Birar was a small kingdom within the present region of Maharashtra, northwest Deccan, Maharashtra. And Ahmednagar Sultanate was also ruling over present-day Maharashtra. So later Ahmednagar conquered Birar. So it was the first splinter state. The first to be born out of the Bahmani Empire was this. First to break away from the Bahmani kingdom, Birar. Founder was Fatullah Imadul Mulk. And his capital was Gavilgad. Gavilgad was his capital. Later, Ahmednagar conquered Birar. Not all are in Maharashtra. I said Birar. One way to remember is Hemalata, Birar, and Ahmednagar. So these two are in present-day Maharashtra. And later, Birar was conquered by Ahmednagar. So you can see here, Ahmednagar annexed Birar. So these two are located in present-day Maharashtra. There was no Maharashtra during those days, isn't it? So I told you, this is the one way of remembering it. Ahmednagar conquered Birar. Okay, right. Then we come to Bidar, the Barid Shahis of Bidar. Qasim Barid was their founder. So he was the one who arrested and imprisoned his master Shahabuddin Muhammad Shah. Shahabuddin Muhammad was imprisoned by him, and he declared himself independent and made Bidar his capital. Later, Bidar was conquered by Bijapur. As you know, both Bidar and Bijapur are in Karnataka. So if you remember this way, Bidar is a place in Karnataka, district in Karnataka, and Bijapur is also a district in Karnataka. So in present-day Karnataka. So later, Bijapur conquered Bidar in 1690. Bijapur conquered Bidar. So Ahmednagar conquered Birar, Bijapur conquered Bidar. Hemalata, are you clear? All of you. This way you can easily remember. Both are in present-day Karnataka, Bidar, Bijapur. Later, Bijapur conquered Bidar. Then we come to Ahmednagar. Ahmednagar, the Nizam Shahis of Ahmednagar. Founder was Malik Ahmad Nizam Shah. He was the founder on the banks of the Sina River. So it's on the left bank of the Sina River. He built Ahmednagar city and transferred his capital from Junnar to Ahmednagar. And Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the ex-Prime Minister of India, he mentions about the founder. He says that Nizamul Mulk was the son of, so that is the founder, Ahmad Nizam Shah, was the son of Nizamul Mulk Bhairi. And this Bhairi was the son of a Brahmin accountant called Bhairu. Okay, that's what he says. So he was of local descent, local origin. Later, Shah Jahan conquered Ahmednagar. 1633, Shah Jahan conquers Ahmednagar. I told you Shivaji's grandfather, Maloji, from his father's side, Maloji and Shahji Bhosle, they were serving under the Ahmednagar Sultanate. When Shah Jahan conquered Ahmednagar, both Maloji and Shahji Bhosle joined the services of Bijapur. So Shah Jahan conquered Ahmednagar. Then Bijapur. Among the 5 splinter states, the most powerful was Bijapur. Founder was Yusuf Adil Shah. And greatest was, of course, Ibrahim Adil Shah II. Greatest. He was a devotee of goddess Saraswati, I believe. Ibrahim Adil Shah II. And we have the Ibrahim Rauza, which is his tomb in Bijapur. So the Ibrahim Rauza at Bijapur is his tomb. You can see here, this is the Ibrahim Rauza at Bijapur, designed by an architect Malik Sandal, a Ethiopian eunuch. This is supposed to be the best example of Bijapuri architecture. The Ibrahim Rauza at Bijapur, not the Gol Gumbas, but this is supposed to be the most beautiful architecture of the Bijapur Sultans, Adil Shahis. Chand Bibi was the queen of Ahmednagar. She was the queen of Ahmednagar, right? And she fought against Akbar's forces, Chand Bibi. She was married to Ali Adil Shah of Bijapur. So she became a widow later. She became a widow later, and then she was a daughter of the Ahmednagar Sultan, Jia, right? So Henry Cousins, Henry Cousins, one of the art historians, he considers this as the magnum opus. That is, Ibrahim Roza is the best example of Bijapuri architecture, according to him. Then Muhammad Adil Shah, his tomb is the Gol Gumbas. You can see on your screen is the Gol Gumbas. Gol Gumbas is the tomb of Sultan Muhammad Adil Shah of Bijapur. And this has got the second largest dome in the world. So obviously the question arises, which is the biggest dome in the world? That of the Vatican, in the St. Peter's Basilica at Vatican in Rome, which is the headquarters of the Pope. So the Pope stays there. That is his headquarters, the Vatican City. And we have the St. Peter's Basilica. St. Peter's Basilica or church has the largest dome in the world. But that dome has a central pillar, a central supporting pillar. So, and this dome at Bijapur, the Gol Gumbas, doesn't have a supporting pillar. So without the supporting pillar, this becomes the biggest dome in the world, even now. Okay, so without the supporting pillar, this becomes the biggest dome. But if you take this supporting pillar into consideration, this is the second largest dome in the world. And it is famous for the Whispering Gallery. Okay, it's famous for the Whispering Gallery. That is, you have echo. If you go to Bijapur and you climb the stairs, they're pretty narrow and steep stairs. So you can go up the stairs, and inside you have a huge dome, and there's a gallery there. So if you say some word, let's say you say hello, you can hear the echo clearly for 7 times, and in a measuring instrument for 11 times. So that's why it's called Whispering Gallery. Famous for the Whispering Gallery, right? And later Aurangzeb conquered Bijapur in 1686. Aurangzeb conquers Bijapur. Then Golconda, last to emerge among the Bahmani Sultanates, Golconda. So again, factual information. Quli Qutub ul Mulk was the founder. Quli Qutub ul Mulk. He founded the kingdom of Golconda and also built the Golconda fort. So this is on the outskirts of Hyderabad. If you go to Hyderabad, on the outskirts, about 30 kilometers away from Hyderabad, you have the Golconda fort, one of the largest forts in India, built by this Quli Qutub ul Mulk. Then Ibrahim Qutub Shah. So he built the Hussain Sagar Lake and the Ibrahim Pattam tanks. So you see, Hyderabad, Secunderabad are twin cities. So if you take the road from Hyderabad to Secunderabad or vice versa, you have to pass through a lake, Hussain Sagar. It's called Hussain Sagar Lake. And you have a Buddha statue which was installed much later by the ex-chief minister of Andhra, N.T. Ramarao. So that is the Hussain Sagar Lake. So Hussain Sagar Lake was built by this man, Ibrahim Qutub Shah, the Sultan, and also he built the Ibrahim Patnam tank. Then Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah founded the city of Hyderabad, earlier called Bhagyanagar. So this was a Kaun Banega Crorepati question, So there was a blacksmith's, this is called the War of the Blacksmith's daughter. So there was a blacksmith's daughter, I believe. She was very, very beautiful. Her name was Bhagyamati. Her name was Bhagyamati. She was very beautiful, and two sultans wanted to marry her, and they fought a war for her. And ultimately it was Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah who defeated the other rival sultan, and he married Bhagyamati and founded a city in her name. He called it Bhagyanagar. So after Bhagyamati, he called it Bhagyanagar, and later it became Hyderabad. So Bhagyanagar became Hyderabad. This was a Kaun Banega Crorepati 1 crore question. Unfortunately, I was not on the hot seat. Okay, so otherwise I would have won 1 crore. Anyway, hello. So you see what I'm trying to say is, only UPSC candidates can. Only UPSC candidates preparing for UPSC, they have a better qualification to participate in these quiz programs. If you observe the questions in Kaun Banega Crorepati and other regional Crorepati programs, most of the questions are from current affairs. Hindu newspaper. If you diligently read Hindu newspaper, then of course Indian Express, and then you study all these subjects either way, economics, history, polity, etc. Try participating in these quiz programs. In fact, the first winner of Kono Banega Crorepati was a UPSC candidate. He never cleared the UPSC, but he got 1 crore. Those days it was 1 crore. Now it is 7 crores, right? So why don't you try your luck? But if you win, you should give me Guru Dakshina, since I have suggested that. Okay, right. On the lighter note, we'll come back here. So he built the city of Hyderabad and Charminar. You'll be in a better position to crack this exam and get more money, apart from preparing for UPSC. So he built the city of Hyderabad, earlier called Bhagyanagar, and Charminar. So Charminar was also built by him, Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah. You can see here on your screen. So these are all factual information. Go through it. Then Muhammad Qutub Shah built the Makkah Masjid near Charminar. So this is the Makkah Masjid. It was completed by Aurangzeb. Very interestingly, completed by Aurangzeb. Many years back, there was a terrorist attack here. There was a bomb blast in this Makkah Masjid area. Many people died. So this is the Makkah Masjid in Hyderabad, completed by Aurangzeb. So foundation laid by Muhammad Qutub Shah. Then Abdullah Qutub Shah, another king, he built the city of Hayat Nagar. He was a vassal of Shah Jahan. And the last ruler was Abul Hasan Tanasha. Aurangzeb conquered Golconda, made him a prisoner. And later he died, and he has been buried at Kuldabad near Aurangabad. So Kuldabad is a place near Aurangabad in Maharashtra. Aurangzeb later was also buried there in that place called Kuldabad. And Abul Hasan Tanasha, the last representative of the Golconda Sultanate, the Nizam Shahi Sultanate, also died there. Oh, that's great, Dinesh. You're in Hayat Nagar. Okay, very great, very good. It must be pretty hot in Andhra now. So we'll come back here. Eastern Gangas of Orissa. So other related information, let's quickly go through it. Eastern Gangas of Orissa, they ruled over Orissa with Kalinga Nagari as their capital, and they built a number of temples. Between the 11th and 13th centuries, they built a number of temples, the Eastern Gangas of Orissa. So why are they called Eastern Gangas as opposed to Western Gangas? Western Gangas are also known as the Western Gangas of Talakad. Western Gangas ruled from Talakadu as their capital. This is in Mysore district. These are called Western Gangas of Talakadu, as opposed to Eastern Gangas who ruled over Orissa. Okay, Eastern Gangas of Orissa. So they built a number of temples. Important temples are these, as you can see, Lingaraja Temple and the Jagannath Temple. Lingaraja Temple at Bhubaneswar. On your screen, on the left side is the Lingaraja Temple at Bhubaneswar in Orissa and the Jagannath Temple at Puri. This was built by Anantavarman Chodaganga of this dynasty, Eastern Gangas. Then Sun Temple at Konark, built by Narasimhadeva, also called Black Pagoda. You can see here, this is a Sun Temple at Konark. So this Konark Sun Temple is almost in ruins now. The Shikhara, as you can see on the screen, the Shikhara is almost crumbling. It began to crumble even during the British time. It is made of bricks, you see. That's why it was crumbling. So what the British did is they made a hole. They made a hole in the Shikhara and they filled up sand. No, they filled up sand till the the height of the Shikhara, so that this the Shikhara stands. The walls of the Shikhara stand on the sand, or rather sit on the sand. So from inside, sand has been filled, and the Shikhara is literally sitting on the sand dune inside, right? Recently, about 2 3 years back, 3 years back, Sun Temple Konark was in news because the sand had settled down. After many decades, the sand had settled down, so the Shikara was not being supported by the sand within the complex. So the ASI opened up that hole which the British had made and closed later. So they again opened up that hole. They removed all the sand what the British had filled up, and they filled it up with fresh sand and again sealed it. So this is the Konark Sun Temple. It is dedicated to the sun god Surya, as you all know. And you have a team of 7 horses. Team of 7 horses are they have all crumbled. The horses have crumbled, made of bricks, obviously. And then you have 12 wheels, 6 on each side. Each wheel is 10 feet in diameter. Each wheel is 10 feet in diameter, and there are 6 wheels on either side of the temple, as if a team of 7 horses are drawing a 12 wheel chariot of the sun god. So beautifully, Abul Fazal mentions about it. Abul Fazal mentions about it. The Sun Temple at Konark, built by Narasimha Deva. Then the Shamir dynasty. Okay, that's nice. I did not know that, Dinesh. In the name of Qutub Shah's daughter, Hayat Bhakti Begum. Okay, Hayat Nagar. Okay, thank you. So Shamir dynasty ruled Kashmir with Alauddinpur as its capital. That is Srinagar, Alauddinpur. And the greatest of this dynasty was Zainul Abidin of Kashmir. Zainul Abidin is called the Akbar of Kashmir, also called Bada Shah, Akbar of Kashmir, because of his tolerant attitude. He visited the Amarnath caves, and paid obeisance there, paid respect there. He rebuilt a number of temples which had been demolished earlier. Though he was a Muslim king, he rebuilt a number of Hindu temples. So he abolished jizya also. So for all these reasons, he's called the Akbar of the Akbar of Kashmir. Zainul Abidin, and he constructed an artificial, uh, you know, he constructed an artificial island, and within that island, he built a lake, the Ular Lake, and also a palace. So reconstructed Hindu temples. Then he built an artificial island called Zain Lanka. So this is the Zain Lanka you can see here. And within the Zain Lanka, he has built the Ular Lake and a palace there. And the sequel to Rajatarangini was written during his period. That is, Junaraja and Srivara wrote Rajatarangini Part 2 to Kalhana's Rajatarangini. So Kalhana writes the history of Kashmir. That is from ancient times to 12th century AD, 1200 AD. This is the Rajatarangini. Rajatarangini, written by Kalhana. Whereas Rajatarangini Part 2 deals with the history from the 12th century, that is the beginning of 13th century till the end of the 16th century. And this was written by these two people, Jonaraja and Srivara, who were patronized by Zainul Abidin. Right? Yeah, good afternoon, Varsha. Right? Then, of course, Sharki dynasty, which ruled Jaunpur in UP, Uttar Pradesh, Jaunpur, Sharki dynasty. Malik Sarwar Sharki, he was the founder. He had been a governor under Firuzshah Tughlaq, and he founded this dynasty, Jaunpur. He made Jaunpur his capital. And he built a mosque. Basically, a Hindu temple was converted into a mosque, the Atala Mosque. Hussain Shah Sharki. So Hussain Shah Sharki was the one who he was a notable Hindustani musician, assumed the title Gandharva, and created new melodies, I believe, that is called Jangula, new ragas called Jangula. Ibrahim Shah Sharki built the Atala Devi Mosque in Jaunpur. This is the Atala Devi Mosque built over the Atala Devi temple. So there was a temple here converted into a mosque. Sometime in the 15th century it was done, 1408 or so. This temple was converted into a mosque, and it remains so. So that's why called Atala Devi Mosque or Atala Mosque, also known as Atala Mosque. Then the Ilyas Shahi dynasty, which ruled Bengal, Ilyas Shahis of Bengal, founder Shamsuddin Ilyas Shah, who revolted against Firuz Shah Tughlaq. He had two capitals, Pandua, where you have the Adina Masjid, which has 400 domes. So this is probably the largest Islamic building in India. The Adina Masjid at Pandua, probably, or perhaps, is the largest Islamic building in India. Largest Islamic building. It's probably the largest Islamic building in India. The Adina Masjid at Pandua with 400 domes. Then Gaur, Chota Sona Masjid, Bada Sona Masjid. Right? So he had two capitals. One was Pandua, and the other was Gaur. And Alauddin Hussain Shah was the greatest of the dynasty who patronized Chaitanya. He honored Chaitanya. And a number of books were written during his period into Bengali. Kasiram wrote Mahabharata in Bengali. Krittivas Oja wrote the Ramayana in Bengali. And Maladhar Basu wrote Sri Krishna Vijaya into Bengali. And Bhagavad Gita was also translated into Bengali. So a lot of activity in literature. Books translated into Bengali language. Mahabharata, Ramayana, and also Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavata. So this is the Adina Masjid at Pandua, which has 400 domes. You can see those domes here on your screen. These are the domes. I believe there are 400 domes like this. So this is the largest Islamic building in India, perhaps. The Adina Mosque at Pandua, built by the Shamsuddin Ilyas Shah. Then Malwa Sultanate, they had Mandu as their capital, and you have a number of buildings constructed here at Mandu. Jama Masjid. The Mandu is in Madhya Pradesh. Mandu. So Jama Masjid, Tomb of Hushang Shah, the Hindola Mahal, which is a T-shaped Mahal or T-shaped palace, Baz Bahadur Palace, Roopmati Palace, Jahaz Mahal. So this is the Hindola Mahal or swing palace, Hindola Mahal. So it has walls which are curving inside, sloping side walls. It has got sloping side walls like this. Sloping side walls. You can see here, sloping side walls. Probably this was an audience chamber. This was an audience chamber. Hindola Mahal. Then Jahaz Mahal. Jahaz, as you know, is a ship. So it is built like a ship. Jahaz Mahal, Mandu. Then Baz Bahadur married this beautiful Hindu singer called Rupamati. He was a devotee of Lord Krishna, I believe. Baz Bahadur, ruler of Malwa. Then Ahom kingdom. They ruled Assam, the Ahoms. And the word Assam is from the word Ahom. The word Assam is from the word Ahom. And their historical account of Assam is contained in books called Burunjis. So historical accounts of Ahoms is contained in books called Burunjis. And the greatest king was Suhung Mung, who came under the influence of the Vaishnava saint Shankara Dasa or Shankara Deva and converted himself to Vaishnavism and took a new name, Swarga Narayana. So Suhung Mung became Swarga Narayana under the influence of Shankara Dasa or Shankara Deva. Then Gujarat Sultanate under the Muzaffarid dynasty, founder was Zafar Khan. Okay, so Zafar Khan was the founder. So he founded the Muzaffarid dynasty. Ahmad Shah founded the city of Ahmedabad, shifted the capital from Anilwar to Ahmedabad. And also built the Teen Darwaza. So this is the Teen Darwaza at Ahmedabad, built by Ahmad Shah, who founded the city of Ahmedabad. Mahmud Shah Begara founded the cities Girnar, Champaner, etc. Then Faruqi dynasty ruled over Khandesh in Madhya Pradesh. So go through it. These are all factual information. Faruqi dynasty ruled over Khandesh in northwest Deccan, present-day Maharashtra, with Burhanpur and Asirgarh as their capitals. And later Akbar conquered it and called it as Dandesh after his son Danial. Prince Danial, one of the sons of Akbar, conquered this area, Khandesh, and it was renamed Dandesh. Then Kachwaha dynasty ruled over Amer, that is Jaipur. They were the first to establish matrimonial relations with the Mughals, as we have discussed. Raja Bharamal Kachwaha gave his daughter Harkabai in marriage to Akbar, and she became the mother to Jahangir. So Harkabai was given a new name, Mariam uz Zamani. So they were the first to enter into matrimonial alliance with the Mughals, the Kachwahas. Then later Raja Bhagwan Das, Raja Man Singh, Raja Jai Singh, they all served under the Mughals. Jai Singh the second, or Savai Jai Singh. Savai means Dvitiya, second, no? Or Jai Singh the second. He found the city of Jaipur, and he was a great astronomer. He built a number of observatories at these 5 places: Jaipur, Delhi, Mathura, Varanasi, Ujjain. And the one at Jaipur, the observatory at Jaipur, is called Jantar Mantar. Jantar Mantar in Jaipur. So this is Jantar Mantar at Jaipur, an observatory built by Jai Singh II. This is the Amer Fort. Jaipur Fort. Then Rathors ruled over Marwar with Jodhpur as capital. They also had matrimonial relations with the Mughals, and Akbar married Jodhabai, and his son Jahangir is supposed to marry Jagat Gosain. Jahangir's favorite wife was Nur Jahan, but then he also married Jagat Gosain, the princess of Jodhpur. And Khurram was born to Jagat Gosain. Khurram, that is Shah Jahan, was born to Jagat Gosain. Then Sisodias, the bravest amongst the Rajputs, the Sisodias of Mewar with capital Chittor. Rana Kumbhakarna, we have discussed this. He built a victory tower, Jayastamba. This is the Kirti Stamba at Chittorgarh after defeating the combined armies of Malwa and Gujarat. So Kirti Stamba. Then Kumbhalgarh fort he built, he built about 32 forts. He renovated and built 32 forts. And among the forts he built is the Kumbhalgarh fort. This is the Kumbhalgarh fort, which has a wall of 32 kilometers. It has a wall of 32 kilometers. So this is the second longest wall in the world after the Great Wall of China. So the wall of the Kumbhalgarh fort, built by Rana Kumbha, second longest wall in the world, 38 kilometers. So remember such things. Then Rana Sangram Singh, we have seen this. He fought against Babur. He was defeated in the Battle of Kanua, 1527. Rana Pratap fought against Akbar in the Battle of Haldighati. Man Singh fought against Rana Pratap. Then Rana Amar Singh, during whose period you have a friendship between the Mughals and the Sisodias. So he sent his son Karan Singh to the court of Jahangir, and friendly relations ensued. So it ended the long-standing conflict with the Mughals. The Sisodias and the Mughal conflict came to an end in the time of Jahangir. Then I have given a small note on Ahilyabai Holkar of Indore. She was the village headman's daughter, Mankoji Shinde. So she became the ruler of Malwa later, Ahilyabai Holkar. So she was the village headman's daughter, Mankoji Shinde's daughter, and Malhar Rao Holkar, the Peshwa Bajirao the First. His commander was Malhar Rao Holkar. So he saw her, and he, in the temple, when she was about 8 years old, and he liked her very much, and he felt she is the right girl for his son. So he got her married to Khande Rao, the son of Malhar Rao Holkar, the commander of the Peshwa Bajirao the First. Later, Khande Rao died. The husband died. She also had a son. The son died, and when both his husband and the son died, the father-in-law, Malhar Rao Holkar, told her not to commit sati, but to help him in running the kingdom. And once he died, she petitioned the Peshwa with the strength of her army. So she had a large army. On the strength of her army, she asked the permission of the Peshwa to be recognized as the ruler of Indore. And the Peshwa recognized it. Jawaharlal Nehru has praised her she ruled Indore from 1765 to 95. So she was in the news recently, about some few months back. And then we have the city of Maheshwar that became an important literary musical center. And we have also the famous Maheshwari saris, which come from there. She was the one who reconstructed the Kashi Vishwanath temple, which was demolished under the orders of Aurangzeb. So Kashi Vishwanath temple was rebuilt by her. Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi was rebuilt by Ahilyabai Holkar. So she was in the news. Go through it. Are you there with me, all of you? Can we look at the questions? This is about the last chapter. This ends medieval India. Huge, its syllabus is huge. Medieval India. So let us look at the questions. Which of the following monuments has a dome? Very easy question. You can see the type of questions asked. 1995. Which of the following monuments has a dome which is said to be one of the largest in the world? So simple question. Gol Gumbaz, Bijapur. Gol Gumbaz, Bijapur. Then, one of the consistent features found in the history of southern India was the growth of small regional kingdoms rather than large empires because of 1999 question. Because of course, the absence of vast areas of fertile land. Look at other choices. Absence of minerals like iron, no. Too many divisions in the social structure. Scarcity of manpower, no. The main reason is absence of vast areas of fertile land. Then next question, match the following 2000 question. Ikta, Delhi Sultans, Jagir, Mughals, Amaram, Vijayanagara. Nayakas were given lands called Amarams. They came to be called Amara Nayakas. And Marathas, Mokasa. So that is a easy question. Hello, are you there with me, all of you? From the type of questions asked by the UPSC, once we finish the syllabus, one topic, that should give you the confidence that though the syllabus is vast, the questions are not very complicated. You can answer the questions provided you have done the vast reading, the wide reading, and have understood the subject, topic, right? So that should give you the confidence. Let's move on. Assertion A. Salva Narasimha put an end to the old dynasty and assumed the royal title. Remember, Salva Narasimha killed the last Sangama ruler, Devaraya, and established the Saluva dynasty. So he put an end to the old dynasty and assumed the royal title. That is correct. He wanted to save the kingdom from further degeneration and disintegration. Utter nonsense. He wanted to become king. That's all. So therefore, the second statement is wrong. So the answer is A is true, R is false. C is the answer. A is true, R is false. Consider the following statements. 2004 question. Look at the questions. Salva Narasimha Saluva ended the Sangama dynasty and seized the throne for himself and started the Saluva dynasty. Yes or no? Don't look at the answer. Answer is on your screen, but don't look at the answer. Answer the first statement. Ketan says no. Ketan, you have not revised properly. Answer is yes. Salva Narasimha ended the Sangama dynasty. He killed the last Saluva ruler, Sangama ruler, that is Devaraya, and established the Saluva dynasty. So the first statement is correct. Veera Narasimha deposed the last Saluva ruler and seized the throne for himself. Correct. That is also correct. Veera Narasimha killed Immadi Narasimha, isn't it? And I have told you the story last class. So Veera Narasimha, the eldest son of Narasanayaka, killed Immadi Narasimha, the second, that is Narasimha the two, and founded the Tuluva dynasty. So this is also correct. Veera Narasimha was succeeded by his younger brother Krishnadevaraya. Correct. Krishnadevaraya was succeeded by his half brother Achyutaraya. This is also correct. So how many statements are given about correct? 1, 2, 3, 4. All are correct. Do you remember I have to discuss first usurpation, second usurpation. So they have asked question from there only. First usurpation, second usurpation. I have discussed this last weekend. So don't get busy watching IPL. Many of the students here, it's very tempting. I know that, but then don't get distracted. Your aim is much bigger than IPL. You finish your daily study. If you finish your daily timetable, then you watch. Otherwise, don't get tempted and waste 3 hours or 4 hours. Can I move on? Let us come back. Let's go to the next question. Hello. Where is the famous Virupaksha temple located? My God, look at the type of question asked. 2009 question this is. Bhadrachalam, Chidambaram, Hampi, Srikalahasti. So Virupaksha temple is in Hampi. Such an easy question. 2015 question, let us look at it. Who of the following founded a new city on the south bank of a tributary to river Krishna? So as soon as you understand, river Krishna tributary is Tungabhadra. Undertook to rule his new kingdom as the agent of a deity to whom all the land south of the river Krishna was supposed to belong. Obviously, Harihara the first. And the tributary of the Krishna is Tungabhadra. How can it be How can it be Prataparudra the second, Ketan? It is Harihara the first. Yeah, there is one Virupaksha at Pattadakal also. That is true. In the choices given, is there Pattadakal? No. The answer is Hampe. Okay, they have asked a very easy question. Only Hampi is the choice here. Pattadakal is not given. Right. Then we move on. Regarding the taxation system of Krishnadevaraya, the ruler of Vijayanagar, consider the following statement. 2016, the tax rate on land was fixed depending on the quality of the land. So depending upon the various categories of land, quality of land, tax rate was fixed. Land tax, that is correct. Private owners of workshops paid an industries tax. So there was industries tax, professional taxes. That's also correct. Which of the following statements are correct? Both 1 and 2 are correct. C is the answer. Both 1 and 2 are correct. The 2019 question, building Kalyana Mandapas was a notable feature in the temple construction in the kingdom of. Such a easy question. Chalukya, Chandela, Rashtrakuta, Vijayanagara. Answer is Vijayanagara. The Kalyana Mandapa, where the deity, the main god and the goddess were married on ceremonial occasions. That's called Kalyana Mandapas. And the Vijayanagara kings highlighted that particular portion of the temple, Kalyana Mandapas. In many places, they built Kalyana Mandapas. Match the following by using codes given below. Kingdom and dynasty. So this can be another type of question asked by the UPSC. Khandesh, Faruqi dynasty. Jaunpur is Sharki dynasty. Bengal, Ilyas Shahi dynasty. And Kashmir, Shamir dynasty. Right? So that's the answer. How many capitals? There was only one capital from Anegundi. Ketan, from Anegundi. From Anegundi or Gondi, the capital was later shifted to Hampe. And Hampi was earlier called Vidyanagara. Later it became Vijaya Virupaksha Nagara. Vijaya Virupaksha Nagara. Virupaksha Nagar. And then Vijayanagara. Virupaksha was a family god, Vijayanagara. Virupaksha was a form of Shiva, Vijayanagara. So there was only one capital. Initially Anegondi, later Hampe. Ketan, are you there with me? Yeah, later of course Hampe, then later Penukonda under the Adaviru kings. Hampe, Penukonda, Chandragiri, Vellur. Hampe, Penukonda, Chandragiri, Vellur. Okay. Who of the following wrote part 2 of Rajatarangini? So we have discussed this. Srivara and Junaraja. Srivara and Junaraja, they were under Zainul Abidin of Kashmir, the Akbar of Kashmir. And Srivara and Junaraja wrote the sequel to Rajatarangini. That is part 2 of Rajatarangini. Match the following with regard to the translation of Mahabharata into various languages. So these questions have picked it up from various state services. From various state services have picked up. So wherever there's a bracket, you can see bracket here. Wherever there's a bracket like this is UPSC question. And wherever there's no bracket, it could be a state service question or some other question which I found relevant or important. They might ask you like this, just for you people to get an idea. Okay. So who of the following wrote Rajatarangini to Srivara Junaraja under Zainul Abidin? Then the Mahabharata, translation of Mahabharata. Perundevanar wrote the Tamil Mahabharata. Perundevanar, as the name suggests. Kashiram wrote the Bengali Mahabharata. Pampa wrote the Kannada Mahabharata. And Saral Das wrote the Oriya Mahabharata. Then which of the following places correctly matched? They're asking. Underline the keywords. Which of the following places correctly matched? Niccolo di Conte, Devaraya the second. No. The answer is Devaraya the first. Niccolo di Conte came during the time of Devaraya the first. Abdur Razak, Devaraya the first, it says. Again, this is wrong. Answer is Devaraya the second. So this is wrong. This is wrong. Domingo Paz. No, this is Krishnadevaraya, not Achyutaraya. He came to the time of Krishnadevaraya. I'll write KD Raya in short. Barbosa, Duarte Eduardo Barbosa. He came to the time of Krishnadevaraya. This is correct. So this is the answer. So this could be another type of question which the UPSC could ask. Then match the following by using the codes given below. Adina Masjid. So where is the Adina Masjid? I told you, probably the largest Islamic building in India. So it's at Pandua. Adina Masjid at Pandua, which has 400 domes. So it has got 400 domes. Atala Devi Masjid. This is in Jaunpur. Chota Sona, Bada Sona Masjid. This is in Gaur, second capital of the Ilyas Shahis of Bengal. And Jama Masjid at Mandu. Okay. Jama Masjid at Mandu. Right. 2021 question on your screen. According to Portuguese writer Fernão Nunes, the women in Vijayanagar Empire were experts in which of the following areas? Wrestling, astrology, accounting, soothsaying. So select the correct answer. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So all are correct. Okay. Next. In medieval India, the term fanam, this is a 2022 question. Fanam is what? Coins. So we have looked at the Vijayanagar coins. If you look here, just hold on. I'll show you the. You see we have discussed the coins. Just hold on. Look here on your screen. We have discussed the coins last class. Varaha was the main gold coin. Parta is half a Varaha. Fanam, 1/10 of a Parta. So Fanam, they asked, what was Fanam in medieval India? It's a coin of the Vijayanagar period, one of the gold coins. Got it? Hello. Did you get it? So how they're asking, you see, minute details. So therefore, you be very alert, revise properly. So in medieval India, the term fanam referred to coins. Then the main question, we'll look at it later. Krishnadevaraya, the king of Vijayanagar, was not only an accomplished scholar himself, but was also a great patron of learning and literature. So they have asked, this is from a literature topic, they've asked. In art and culture, we have a literature topic, Indian literature. So they have specifically asked from Vijayanagar chapter, 2016 question, 150 words, 10 marks. Krishnadevaraya, the king of Vijayanagar, was not only an accomplished scholar himself, but was also a great patron of learning and literature. So you have to first mention what are the accomplishments of Krishnadevaraya as a scholar, his individual achievement. And then second part is how did he patronize learning and literature. So you have to mention the Ashadikajas, Peddana was carried in a palanquin held by the emperor himself, and various books written by the Ashadikajas. His period is called classical phase of Telugu literature, for which he is called Abhinava Bhoja and also Andhra Bhoja. So all those things, right? 150 words, 10 marks. Then, of course, they have asked one more question they could ask is, the Vijayanagar Empire represents a distinct and influential period in Indian architectural history. Vijayanagar architecture we will discuss when we come to art and architecture topic. Okay, so this is about medieval India. So this is about medieval India, right? I end medieval India today. I have taken extra time, I suppose, but then you understand it. We have dealt with huge topics: Delhi Sultanate, Mughal Empire, Marathas, then Vijayanagara. Huge chapters. So I'll focus on these 4 chapters: Delhi Sultanate, Mughal Empire, Marathas, Shivaji, and then of course Vijayanagara and other regional kingdoms. And of course, don't neglect any section of early medieval India also. Whatever is there in my PPT, that should be sufficient, I suppose. Cholas is important. Cholas, then Hoysalas we have done. Hoysalas were in the news recently because of the temples added to the UNESCO list. So Hoysalas become important. They could ask you some questions from Rajputs, and then the Palas, Chola, Palas, Rashtrakutas, Pratihara conflict. Arab conquest of Sindh. So here and there they could ask you questions. From early medieval India also they're asking questions. One or two questions come. So don't neglect any segment of the syllabus. After all, this is an elimination exam. Prelims is an elimination exam. It is not a test of your knowledge. It is more of an elimination exam because UPSC can only take certain number of candidates for the mains. That is, ratio is about 12 to 13 times the number of vacancies. Let us say there are 1,000 vacancies in a year. Okay, there are 1,000 vacancies in a year. So 12 to 13 times, all maximum 15 times. Let us say 1,000 into 15. Let me take the exam. 15,000 people are going to clear the prelims that year. Okay, out of the lakhs of people who have applied for the examination, 15,000. The competition will be among these 15,000 in the mains. And about 2.5 times will be going to the interview. Okay, out of these 2.5 times the number of vacancies. That is about 2,000, let us say 2,500 people. 2,500 people will go to the interview. That is, out of 15,000, they will select about 2,000, 2,500 people for the interview at Delhi. So the main exam is the main exam, the test of knowledge. Prelims is more of a elimination exam. But of course, without clearing the prelims, you cannot write the mains. So it will help you. Prelims will help you to answer mains questions also, factual, analytical, all those things. So you cannot neglect any part of the syllabus, any part of the exam as such, right? So can we go to the next segment? That is art and culture. All of you, can we? So let us talk about art and culture. So go through the, and one more thing is you put a timetable. There is something called Parkinson's law of time, not Parkinson's syndrome. This is Parkinson's law of time. What does it say? Parkinson's law of time. Work fills up the day. Work fills up the time available for its disposal. Work fills up the time available for its disposal. What is the meaning of that? Meaning of that is, if you don't set a time limit to finish any work, if you don't set up a time limit to finish a particular work, then some other work will take its place. Like, for example, let us say your father says you should go and post this courier within 6 o'clock today, within 6 p.m. today. So the deadline is 6 p.m. Your father has given you this deadline of 6 p.m. It's an important courier belonging to his office, and it has to reach the concerned person by tomorrow morning, let's say, by tomorrow afternoon. So he wants you to send a courier, a fast courier. So you will make it a point to go and post the courier. But if your father says, let us say, post this courier when you have the time. So what will we do? We tend to postpone. If not today, tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes day after tomorrow, etc. So always set a time limit, right, for finishing a particular topic or syllabus. And then, for example, let us say in 10 days. In 10 days, I will finish medieval India. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. 10 days, I have to finish medieval India. I'll read Satish Chandra or Poonam Dalal Dahiya, whatever, PPTs, etc., and finish 10 days thoroughly, medieval India. Until I finish medieval India, I'll not touch anything. So that should be the type of focus you should have. And you have a time limit set, and you stick to the time limit. There might be an emergency, you cannot help it. But then if there's no emergency, you don't create an artificial emergency by procrastinating, postponing things, getting distracted, etc. So only then you'll finish the syllabus. Otherwise, things tend to get postponed. So follow this always. You put a time limit and finish the whatever work you've allotted for yourself within the time limit given. Okay, so we'll come back here. I attended late. What did we learn from 12? We finished medieval India Kennedy. Now we're going to finish the pending portions. It's factually Kennedy. Just go through the PPTs. That should be sufficient. Now we'll come to art and culture. On your screen, art and culture. The last chapter, Kennedy, last chapter of medieval India, Vijayanagara and regional kingdoms. I just finished that. That was the pending portion from the last weekend. I could not complete it last weekend. So now I've completed that. Now let us come to art and culture. Okay, now we'll come to art and culture, an overview. So I have shortlisted topics after analyzing the last few years papers, we can identify certain topics which are important from the exam point of view. Again, from this, I will point out 8 topics which you thoroughly study from the mains point of view. The UPSC can also ask you questions from prelims, and they have asked. But then let us discuss this. First of all, on your screen. So, important topics for study. One is Indian architecture, Indian art and architecture. So, on your screen. So, we have to study 5,000 years. 5,000 years of architecture. We have to study 5,000 years of art and architecture, of Indian art and architecture. So we start our survey from Indus civilization. But then I think I have done Indus civilization. I'll come to that later. And when I did the Indus Harappan civilization as part of the ancient India, I have covered the topic in a very broad manner. The town planning of the Harappans, other cultural aspects of the Harappans, seals, society, economy, trade and commerce, religious practices of the Harappans. All those things I've covered. So I'll not be covering the town planning of the Harappans. Right? Hello, are you there with me? Ancient India, I have covered it in a very detailed manner when I did Ancient India for you. Do you remember? Hello, all of you. So therefore, I'll skip that part, the town planning part. We'll directly go to Mauryan art. From Mauryan art, I'll do. So we have to study 5,000 years of architecture, art and architecture. So I'm just giving you a bird's eye view of this topic. So we'll come back here. So when it comes to art and architecture, we'll be discussing. Of course, we have to start with Harappan civilization. Everything about the Harappans, the town planning of the Harappans. They used to live in well-planned cities and towns. The underground drainage system they had gave a lot of importance to health and hygiene, cleanliness, and everything about their society, their civilization, society, economy, trade and commerce, agriculture, small-scale industries, etc. So everything about this civilization. Then we come down to Mauryan period, Mauryas, Mauryan art. So Mauryan period, we have Mauryan art. Mauryan art is divided to court art. I'm just giving an overview, so don't worry about it. We'll discuss it in detail when we come to that particular topic. So it's divided into 2 parts, court art and popular art. Court art and popular art. Now, what is court art? Court art is that art which only a king can afford. Only the government or the king can afford. Common people like you and me cannot afford such an art. So therefore, it's called court art. What are the examples in court art? We'll be discussing palaces, Mauryan palaces. We'll be discussing pillars of Ashoka, the lords of Ashoka or pillars of Ashoka. We'll be discussing the stupas, the various parts of a stupa. What is a stupa? What is the symbolic significance of a stupa? Important stupas. Of course, so palaces, pillars of Ashoka. Pillars, again, difference between Mauryan pillar and Persian pillars or Achaemenid pillars. Important capitals on those of Ashokan pillars. Important capitals. So, what are the different parts of a pillar? Important capitals of Ashokan pillars, stupas, and of course viharas. Viharas are monasteries, caves, meant for the residential purposes of monks. So this comes under the category of court art: palaces, pillars, stupas, and viharas. Then we come to popular art. What is popular art? Popular art is that art which only which common people like you and me can afford. So, like for example, during festivals like Ganesh festival, people come, the boys in your area, they come for donations, voluntary donations. They ask for some money. So you give some money, 10 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, etc. And they collect all that money and they will install a community Ganesha idol in your area. And they'll invite you also to come and pray there. Right? That is called popular art. So you have people collecting money or guilds, merchant guilds collecting money, and they will install an image or an idol. Okay, that's called popular art. Okay. And from the time of the Mauryas, we have the beginning of the usage of stone. Mauryas were the ones who began to use stone in architecture. Before the Mauryas, wood was the medium of architecture. Wood was the medium. But from the time of Ashoka, particularly, they began to use stone. So, what is the reason for that? I'll tell you later. Now, understand this topic, okay? I'm just discussing that. It's very easy. Art and architecture, very interesting. Art and culture itself is very easy and interesting topic. And UPSC keeps on asking questions, and of course, keep track of the current affairs, whatever is coming in the newspapers. So, Harappan civilization, Mauryan art. Then we come to post-Mauryan art. Post-Maurya. Now, people who have attended ancient India, medieval India, they will be able to easily relate to what I'm telling. For example, in the post-Maurya period, once the Mauryan Empire declined, a number of foreigners came to India, isn't it? Foreign tribes established kingdoms, the Bactrian Greeks, the Scythians or the Shakas, the Parthians and the Kushanas. Remember, so these are the foreigners who came to India. Who are the indigenous successors of the Mauryas? The last Mauryan king, Brihadratha, was killed by his commander Pushyamitra Sunga. So Sunga succeeded the Mauryas, followed by the Kanvas and the Shatavahanas. So Sungas and Kanvas in North India, North and Central India, and Shatavahanas in South India. So if you look at the map here, if I draw a map like this, we have three schools of art which came into existence during this period. Three schools of art. One is the Mathura school of art. Mathura art. Mathura school of art, patronized by the Shungas and the Kushanas. Then the Gandhara school of art. Gandhara school of art. Gandhara art. And the Shatavahanas patronized the Amaravati school of art. Amaravati art, school of art, patronized by the Shatavahanas. So we study about three schools of art in this period, in this chapter called post-Maurya period. Gandhara art, which was patronized by the Indo-Greeks or the Bactrian Greeks. Remember, hello, all of you. This is where conventional history knowledge comes into usefulness. We have done this. Alexander came and there was a rebellion in his army and he went back. In 326 BC, he went back. But many of the Greek soldiers and officers who were part of Alexander's army never went back. They stayed back in northern Afghanistan. They married the local women of northern Afghanistan or had a relationship with those women. And the descendants of these Greeks came to be called Indo-Greeks. Once they come into India, they're called Indo-Greeks or the Bactrian Greeks. And they used to worship Roman and Greek gods, like Zeus, Apollo, etc. So later, in course of time, they became Indianized. These Greeks became Indianized. They began to worship either Krishna or Buddha. And they also began to depict Buddha in a Greco-Roman manner. They began to depict Buddha as a Greek and Roman god, right, in the idols or murtis. That's called Gandhara art, Gandhara school of art. Gandhara is the old name for Kandahar. Kandahar is in Afghanistan. So in that area, present day Pakistan, Afghanistan, we have a distinct school of art which came into existence known as the Gandhara school of art. Did you understand? Hello, please raise your hands. Am I able to get across, all of you? I'm just trying to tingle your imagination, knowledge, whatever knowledge you've gained in this last few weeks, as part of history. Right, so Gandhara school of art. Then Mathura school of art, patronized by the Shungas and the Kushanas. Mathura school of art. Amaravati school of art, patronized by the Shatavahanas and the Ikshvakus. So we study about three schools of art here: Gandhara, Mathura, and Amaravati schools of art. Sorry. Gandhara, Mathura, Amaravati schools of art. Right. Then we come to post-Maurya period. Sorry, Gupta period. Post-Maurya ho gaya. Then we come to Gupta period. Number 4. Number 4, Gupta period. Now, during the Gupta period, please understand this. Early temples were found inside caves. They're called cave temples. Early temples were found inside caves. Therefore, they are called cave temples. But by the time the Guptas came to power, during the Gupta period, what we notice is the gradual evolution of freestanding structural temples. the gradual evolution of freestanding structural temples. So we trace the evolution of freestanding structural temples during the Gupta period in 5 stages. So what are those 5 stages? We'll discuss about that. Then the Shilpa Shastra books, that is the books of Indian architecture, the books on Indian architecture, divide Indian temple architecture into 3 parts. North Indian style of temple build. Already, I'm sorry for this. By mistake, I know. I can. Okay, good. I have this technology. I can undo it. Okay, sorry for that. Now we'll come back here. The Shilpa Shastra books divide Indian temple architecture into 3 parts. The North Indian temple building style is called Nagara style. North Indian temple building style is called Nagara style. Then South Indian style of temple building is called Dravida style. And then a mixture of these two, Nagara and Dravida, when you mix both these styles of temple building, it's called Vesara style of architecture, temple building architecture. Nagara, Dravida, Vesara. Now we have regional variations in Nagara style. Understand this? What are the various features of a Nagara temple in North India? They were mostly built of bricks. We don't have a compound wall in a North Indian temple. Conventionally, in a conventional North Indian temple, we don't have a compound wall or a boundary wall. There's no temple tank, what is called Kalyanis in South Indian temples. So you don't have a temple tank in a North Indian temple. The Shikara, the spire on top of the Garbhagriha, curves to a point at the top. So all those things are there. I'll discuss about it later. So we have some standard Nagara features, standard features of a Nagara temple. But then if you look at the map here, in central portion of India, in this area, central portion of India, we have 3 distinct schools of temple building, which emerged. So this is Orissa here. This is Orissa here. This is the state of Orissa. Then this is Madhya Pradesh here. And this is Gujarat. Gujarat and Rajasthan. Rajasthan is here. So in these 3 areas, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, we have regional variations to Nagara style. Some extra features have been added to a standard Nagara temple in Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat. So we'll be also talking about the sub-schools, Nagara style sub-schools. Okay. Ayodhya is in Vesara style. No. Ayodhya is in standard Nagara style. There are some Dravida features also incorporated in Nagara style. I had discussed this, Dinesh, in one of the webinars. And when I come to, art and architecture topic, I'll discuss about it, right? Present day Ayodhya temple, new temple which has been built, they have incorporated some southern styles also, Dravida styles also. 1 or 2 styles are there, features are there of Dravida's temple. Otherwise, it is built in the Nagara style. Okay, so we'll come to that. So, right, so we'll discuss this. And then Dravida style. Dravida temples, the foundation was laid by the Pallavas. Then we have the Cholas, so the Pallavas were the ones who laid the foundation of the Dravida style. Then it was improved upon by the Cholas. All the features of a Dravida temple are found in Chola temples. And then we have other South Indian dynasties who added some extra features to Dravida style. For example, Vijayanagara kings. Vijayanagara kings highlighted the Kalyana Mandapa. We just now saw that. Kalyana Mandapa. That is where the god and the goddess were married. That was highlighted in the temple by the Vijayanagara kings. We have the Nayakas who ruled over Jinji, Vellore, Madurai, etc. They added 1,000-pillared halls to temples. 1,000-pillared halls were added by them to temples, the Nayakas. So like that, we'll study about Dravida style, Dravida temple. So there are some standard Dravida features. We'll talk about it. Yeah, Meenakshi temple is Nayaka style. You're right, Dinesh. Then Vesara style. Vesara is, you have 4 dynasties who followed Vesara style. 4 dynasties. One is, of course, the Chalukyas of Badami Chalukyas. So they ruled in a buffer zone, isn't it? Somewhere in between North and South India. So since they ruled over a buffer zone, the Chalukyas of Badami, they incorporated both elements of North and South temple styles. So Badami Chalukyas, their feudatories with the Rashtrakutas. Below the Badami Chalukyas, you have the Rashtrakutas. So their style is also Vesara style. Then below the Rashtrakutas, we have the Kalyana Chalukyas. Kalyana Chalukyas. So their style is also supposedly Vesara style. And then Hoysalas. Hoysalas style is also Vesara style. But then by the time the Hoysalas come to power, this star shape becomes very popular. Star-shaped temples. So they build temples in the form of a star. That's called stellate plan. We'll talk about that. Very interesting. So during the Gupta period, three forms of temple building came into existence: Nagara, Dravida, Vesara. Okay, so we'll discuss that. Right. Then, of course, we come to post-Gupta period. And here we have during the post-Gupta period, of course, we have the Rashtrakutas. We'll discuss about the rock-cut temples of the Rashtrakutas, etc. So this is ancient Indian architecture. Then we come to medieval Indian architecture. Where medieval Indian architecture, for example, we have the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. Delhi Sultanate was established in 1206. It lasted till 1526. You all know that. So here you have 5 dynasties which ruled the Delhi Sultanate. The slave dynasty, you know that, slave or Ilbari Turks. Then the Khaljis were the second. The Khaljis, the Tughlaqs, the Sayyids, and the Lodhis. Now, what we notice is, initially, when the Turks came, why did they come? Ghori came, Ghazni came, then Ghori came. And Ghori sent 2 of his officers to conquer a few parts of India. That is Qutbuddin Aibak and Bakhtiyar Khalji. So the Turks came to loot and plunder. They came basically to loot and plunder. Right? And their religion, once they conquered a few territories of India, their religion demanded that they pray 5 times in a day. So a Muslim, a true Muslim, is supposed to pray 5 times in a day. Right, and then he's supposed to go to the mosque on a Friday, Jummah day as it is called, Jummah day, right? So it's a congregational religion basically. And when they came to India, there were no mosques, and they came to loot and plunder. They did not come along with architects, engineers, masons. So in order to fulfill the tenets of the religion, in order to fulfill the demands of the religion, the rules of the religion, what did these Turks do? They demolished temples. They demolished Hindu and Jain temples. So they demolished Hindu and Jain temples, and out of the rubble, that is, out of the bricks and the mud, etc., out of the rubble which they had, out of the temple rubble which they had demolished, they built up a mosque. They built a mosque. For example, the Quwwatul Islam Mosque, which was built by Qutbuddin Aibak. It was built out of the remains of 27 Hindu and Jain temples. 27 Hindu and Jain temples were demolished, and out of the rubble, one mosque was constructed. Similarly, we have the Adhai Din Ka Jhompra at Ajmer, a mosque built in supposedly 2.5 days. Adhai Din means 2.5 days. So, all over North India, we see a number of temples were demolished or altered into mosques. And initially, please understand, since they did not come along with architects, engineers, masons, they caught hold of the Hindu masons. The Hindu architect, the Hindu masons were forced to build an arch or a dome. You can see the Turks introduced arch and the dome, right? The dome and the arch was introduced. Arch as a design was known to ancient Indians, but it had been forgotten. So in India, this was the method, Trebiate method. You can see this is called Trebiate. That is slab and beam method. You have 2 pillars here, and you have a beam supporting the roof. This is called Trebiate, or what is called slab and beam method. Slab and beam method. So this was the method used in India. 2 pillars, and then you have a beam supporting the roof. See, the Turks, once they came to India, they combined these 2 features. The arch and the dome was known to them. They combined the Trebiate, that is slab and the beam method, into a pleasing, in a very pleasing manner. They introduced new architectural features, jali, perforated windows. Jali, perforated windows. Islam doesn't allow depiction of human and animals on the buildings, on their monuments. So they introduced calligraphy. So what is calligraphy? We'll talk about it. Calligraphy they introduced. Then they have arabesque. They introduced arabesque, a design element called arabesque. So all these were introduced, and they were also ready for experimentation. So initially, we see a number of Hindu elements in Islamic buildings. But once they consolidated themselves, once they became part of this country, they, to a large extent, gave up demolition and they built independent structures. So we'll talk about all those things. Important buildings built by the slave kings or the Ilbari Turks. Aibak laid the foundation of the Qutub Minar. It was completed by Iltutmish. Later, Firuz Shah Tughlaq added a fifth story. All those things we'll discuss. Balban, which has Balban's tomb has the first true or was arch in India. Khaljis, Alauddin Khalji was the greatest of the sultans. And these Delhi sultans built 5 cities. Out of the 7 cities of Delhi, they built 5 cities. So we have discussed all these things. Khaljis built the, Alauddin Khalji built Siri. Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq built the city of Tughlaqabad, right? Then, of course, the transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri, which was renamed Daulatabad. So important buildings built by the Tughlaq kings, particularly Firuz Shah Tughlaq, found a number of cities, Hisar, Jaunpur. So we'll discuss Firuzabad, all those things we'll discuss. Lodhis, they were known for their double domes. They mostly built tombs. The Lodhis mostly built tombs, right? So we'll discuss about that. Then we go to Mughals. Mughals, Babur to Aurangzeb. Babur, Mughals. Babur to Aurangzeb. So what are the various buildings built by the Mughals? Babur built 4 mosques. He fought 4 battles in 4 years. He was very busy fighting, but still in that busy schedule of his, he built a few mosques. One mosque was demolished, and in that place we have a temple now at Ayodhya. One of that mosque became controversial, and it was demolished. Then Humayun, Humayun's tomb is there, which was built by his wife, one of his wives. Then Akbar was a great builder. He built a number of palaces, forts, etc. He founded the city of Fatehpur Sikri. So all these things we discuss. Then Jahangir, more interested in laying gardens, Bagh, Shalimar Bagh in Kashmir, the Dilkusha Garden in Lahore in Pakistan. So he was more of a person interested in gardening, laying gardens and painting than buildings. But of course, his favorite queen, Noor Jahan, built a tomb for her father, Itimad Daula's tomb, which is in Agra. Then Shah Jahan was a great builder, you all know. He built the Taj Mahal, the Jama Masjid, the biggest mosque in India at Delhi, the Red Fort at Delhi. So all these things were built by Shah Jahan. Aurangzeb, he felt it is a waste of money to spend money on these buildings. Though he built the Badshahi Mosque in Lahore, he has built a beautiful mosque called the Badshahi Mosque at Lahore. And within the Red Fort complex, he has built one marble tomb, marble mosque, the Moti Masjid inside the Red Fort. So all these things we discuss, and of course we come to the Europeans, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the English, the Danes, and the French. So Europeans came in that order: the Portuguese, the Dutch, the English, the Danes, Denmark, and lastly French. And they came to trade. They built trading stations, factories as they were called initially. So they built warehouses, factories, or trading stations, and then they introduced their own distinct styles of architecture. The Portuguese style is called anonymous. The Portuguese style is called Iberian style of architecture, seen in their Baroque churches. In Goa, you have the Baroque churches, patio houses. They were all introduced by the Portuguese. And the French introduced anonymous architecture. The British introduced Gothic style. And when it merged with Indian style, it came to be called Indo-Gothic or Victorian style. So we'll discuss all these things. And of course, the capital was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi. In 1911, capital was shifted to Delhi, or Lutyens Delhi as it is called. So we have a hybrid style there, a mixture of many styles in Delhi: circular buildings, upturned dome. So all those things are there. And important architects of India, right, including Charles Correa. Important buildings built by people like Charles Correa, who's considered to be the greatest architect of modern India, Charles Correa. So this is about Indian architecture. We study all these things. Yeah. Okay. So we'll come back here. Are you there with me? So this is your first chapter, Indian architecture. Interesting, but also very, very vast. In fact, that's the biggest, topic, huge topic in your art and culture section, Indian art and architecture. Most of the questions have come from that chapter, the first chapter. Then we talk about Indian painting. Indian painting. So So, we start our survey of Indian painting from early paintings, from the time of Indian painting. So, early man used to live in caves. Early man used to live in caves, and he has painted on the walls of some of these caves. That's called prehistoric art. Prehistoric art. So such caves are found in present-day region of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh area, Madhya Pradesh, parts of Bihar, Allahabad, Yesutu Guha in Kerala. So in many parts of India, of course, Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. So we have many caves in India where we find such paintings. This is called prehistoric art. And what did early man paint? Whatever he saw outside, flora and fauna, plants, animals, then community life is shown, singing, dancing, hunting scenes, battle scenes, war scenes, all these are painted. So that's called prehistoric art. You should know what is a mural, what's a fresco, what is tempera technique, all those things. Then, of course, Indus civilization. We go to Indus civilization, Indus paintings. Indus painting found in on pottery, Indus pottery, on the seals, and on the Indus pots we have some paintings. So Indus painting is called pottery is called black on red ware. So they used to make pots on the wheel, and they used to paint it in red color, and then they used to make designs in black. And we see some paintings on their pots. And we directly jump to Gupta period. From Indus, we directly jump to Gupta period paintings, as seen in Ajanta, Ajanta in Madhya Pradesh, Ajanta in Maharashtra, Bagh in Madhya Pradesh, Sittanavasal in the Pudukkottai district of Tamil Nadu. So these are Gupta period paintings. Ajanta, there are about 30 caves. Some books say 29 caves. Some books say 30 caves. So these are all caves. These are artificial caves, man-made caves. And on the walls and ceilings of some of these caves, we have some beautiful paintings. As you all know, Ajanta is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So what is the technique used in Ajanta for making these paintings? Then what about Bagh paintings, Sittanavasal paintings in Pudukkottai district of Tamil Nadu? So these are all Gupta period paintings. Then we come to post-Gupta period paintings, or rather, early medieval paintings, early medieval India paintings. We'll talk about all those things. Early medieval India paintings. We have a transition from wall paintings to miniature paintings. Earlier paintings were found on walls. Okay, so from wall paintings, we have the transition towards miniature paintings. Miniature paintings. So what is the reason for this transition? Obviously, wall paintings were done by the Buddhists. So if you see Ajanta, Bagh, they were all done by the Buddhist monks. But then by early medieval times, Buddhism became unpopular. It lost its popularity. So therefore, we have the coming into existence of miniature painting. So what is the meaning of miniature painting? Small paintings, right? And what are the various examples of miniature painting? For example, Pala paintings, Pala period paintings. There are examples of miniature painting. Apabhramsha school, Apabhramsha, that is Jain miniature paintings. Jain miniature paintings called Apabhramsha school. Then we have, of course, the uh, Rajput paintings, which are divided into Rajasthani and Pahadi. Rajput paintings are divided into Rajasthani and Pahadi. Again, these are examples of miniature paintings. Mughal period paintings, they are again miniature paintings. Company paintings. What is this company painting? Also called Patna School of Painting. So these are all examples of miniature paintings. Then we come to medieval India paintings. Medieval India paintings. So we have three themes on which paintings were done. I'll talk about it later. I don't want to confuse you people with too much of information. So medieval India paintings, and then we come to, of course, modern paintings, modern period paintings, modern period. Okay, modern period paintings. Um, so what is called, we have three stages. British style is there. British style, which is again divided into three stages. Then the um, Bengal Bengal School of Art. What is this Bengal School of Art? Then, of course, folk paintings. Folk paintings. And as part of Bengal School of Art, we also have to study about people like Raja Ravi Verma. Raja Ravi Verma, a great painter from Travancore or Trivandrum, Thiruvananthapuram. He belonged to the royal family of Thiruvananthapuram. So Raja Ravi Verma's paintings. Then, of course, Bengal School of Art under Abanindranath Tagore, Sharda Ukil, Jaimini Roy. So these are some of the great, Amrita Shergill. So these are all famous painters of modern India. Then folk paintings in different parts of India and different states, we have different paintings. For example, the Warli paintings from Maharashtra. Then we have the various types of rangoli. In North India, it is mixed with water, whereas in South India, it is dry powder which is used. That is also a form of painting, right? So then the the Madhubani painting, native to the region of Madhubani district in Bihar. So these are all examples of folk paintings. So we study about all these things as part of Indian painting. Are you there with me? Hello? Clear? So Indian art and architecture, Indian painting. So you can see here on your screen prehistoric art, mural, fresco differences, then Ajanta, Ellora, Siddhanavasal, Pala, and Upper Brahmsha School of miniature painting, Manjusha, Warli, Madhubani, Mysore School, Tanjavur School of Paintings, then Kishangarh, Bani Thani painting, that is example of Pahadi paintings, Mughal paintings, that's very important, Mughal paintings, Babar, then developments under various Mughal rulers, Humayun, then Akbar, Jahangir, during whose period we have the peak of Mughal paintings. Then modern school of art, including Bengal school, Patna school, etc., and made modern painters of eminence. Clear? So Indian architecture, Indian painting. Then another topic, the Indian music. Can you raise your hands? Am I audible, visible? Clear? Okay. So we have music. Music like Carnatic music. So Carnatic music. So there was only one type of music available. Once we have Islamic rule in North India, music got divided to Carnatic and Hindustani music. So what is the difference between Carnatic and Hindustani music? What is swara, tal, various musical instruments, folk music. So we'll discuss all these things. Then Indian dance, classical dances of India like Bharatanatyam, Kathakali, Kuchipudi, Mohiniyattam, Odissi. So there are 8 classical dances of India. There are strict rules to be followed, in classical dance. You cannot improvise in classical dances. Strict rules are there. You're supposed to follow that. Unlike, you must have seen people dancing in a marriage, barat, marriage procession, or when you have parties and some fellows get drunk and the way they dance, there are no rules for such type of dance. So classical dances to follow strict rules. So we'll discuss the important classical dance of India. In different parts of India, we have different folk dances, marking change of seasons, festivals, harvest season, marriages, important occasions. We have different folk dances, even dances during festivals, etc. Then tribal dances of India, martial dances like Kalaripayattu, Gatka, Tanka, etc. Then religion in India. So religion in India like Buddhism, Jainism. So I'll start my survey of art and architecture with this chapter, Buddhism, Jainism. So religions in India like Buddhism, Jainism, how Siddhartha became Gautama, the teachings of Gautama Buddha, then contribution of Buddhism to art, architecture, literature. What are the reasons for the popularity of Buddhism? Similarly, what are the reasons for its decline? Then uh, you know, the 4 councils meetings which took place after the death of the Buddha. This is division in the Buddhist Sangha into Hinayana, Mahayana. What is Hinayana? What is Mahayana? What is Vajrayana Buddhism, etc. So we'll discuss all those things. Then Jainism, how Vardhaman became Mahavira, the teachings of Mahavira. Uh, Jainism has 24 Tirthankaras. What is the meaning of a Tirthankara? Contribution of Jainism to art, architecture, literature. Reasons for the popularity of Jainism, reasons for its decline, Then division in the Jain Sangha into Digambar and Shwetambar. How did this division happen into Digambar and Shwetambar? Right? Then what is Bhagavatism? Bhagavatism is the worship of Lord Krishna, Vasudeva Krishna. So everything about Bhagavatism, what was the reason for the revival of Bhagavatism, and how Bhagavatism later merged into Vaishnavism. So Krishna became an avatar of Vishnu, one of the 10 avatars of Vishnu: Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Rama, Krishna, 8th avatar. 9th is Buddha, then 10th is Kalki. So 10th avatar, yet to come is Kalki. So everything about Bhagavatism and Vaishnavism, the Vaishnava acharyas, the Vaishnava saints or alvars, so all those things. Similarly, Shaivism, the oldest sect in India, the native faith of India. Pashupati Mahadeva of the Harappans became Rudra in the Vedic period, and Rudra became Shiva by the Gupta period. So everything about Shaivism, extreme forms of Shaivism, like Kapalika, Kalamukha, Goraknathis, Kanfata yogis, Aghoris, Naga sadhus, these are all examples of extreme Shaiva sects. And then moderate Shaivism, all those things, everything about Shaivism. So religion in India, that's another important chapter. Then schools of philosophy. Philosophy, like what are the topics in philosophy? What happens to a person after he dies? Who knows? But then we have answers in our philosophy. So, what happens after a person dies? What is the nature of God? Is there karma? Is there rebirth? What is moksha? Is there something called moksha? So, these are the type of topics discussed in philosophy, and we have various philosophical schools like Vedanta, Charvaka, then the Shad Darshanas, Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, so on and so forth. So, the schools of philosophy. Then Indian literature, like for example, in ancient India, we have Sanskrit literature. Most of the books were written in Sanskrit language. So we have a huge corpus of information or books written in Sanskrit language on various subjects. Like the Vedic literature is in Sanskrit. Dramas were written, natakas, important dramas. For example, the dramas of Kalidasa, Vignana Shakuntala, okay, then Malavika Agnimitram. So like that. Important poems, kavyas, then didactic literature. What is didactic literature? Champu, Shatakas, scientific literature written in Sanskrit language. So prose romances. So many huge grammar books. Many books on many books were written on various topics in Sanskrit language. The Sanskrit was the language of the shishtas, elite sections of society. Whereas Prakrit was a Desha Bhasha. Common people spoke Prakrit. And within Prakrit, we have two dialects, Pali and Ardhamagadi. Buddha spoke in Pali and Mahavira spoke in Ardhamagadi. Both Pali and Ardhamagadi are dialects of Prakrit. So Prakrit was the Desha Bhasha, common people's language. Whereas Sanskrit was meant for the elite sections, the Shishtas, the elites like Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas. Common people did not speak Sanskrit. So what are the various books in Pali about Buddhist literature, which is in Pali and Sanskrit? Similarly, Jain literature is in Prakrit language mostly, and Dravidian languages. Tamil is the oldest Dravidian language, followed by Kannada, then Telugu and Malayalam. Important books written in these languages. So this is ancient Indian literature. Then we come to medieval Indian literature, Persian literature, Arabic literature, medieval India. Most of the books were written in Persian language and literature. So, what is the reason as to why the Delhi Sultans, including the Bahmani kingdoms in the south, the Deccani Sultanates, and including the Mughals? So, the Delhi Sultans, Mughals, and the Bahmanis, they all promoted Persian language and literature, not Arabic. So, what is the reason for that? And what are the various books written in Persian language in medieval India? Biographies, autobiographies, grammar books, encyclopedias, translations. So many books on various subjects were written and translated in Persian language. So you have Persian language and literature flourishing. And a number of scholars came from Central Asia during the Delhi Sultanate period. Amir Khusro was the greatest of the literators during the period of the Delhi Sultans. Then Abul Fazl, one of the ministers of Akbar, mentions about 75 scholars who came to the Mughal court during the Mughal period, from Central Asia. Bukhara, Khorasan, Herat, etc. They all came. There was a steady migration of these scholars. And the Delhi Sultans, as well as the Mughals, patronized these scholars. And they encouraged them. They gave them very generous donations, stipends, and they encouraged them to write a number of books, translate a number of books from Sanskrit into Persian language, etc. So there was a lot of literature written in Persian language and literature during the medieval period. Right. Then we have studied about Bhakti and Sufi movement. What is this Bhakti movement? What is Sufi movement? Important Bhakti saints like Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and their philosophies, Advaita, Dvaita, Vishishta Advaita, you know, then Vallabhacharya, Shuddha Advaita, then Mekandar, Annamacharya. These are the important saints of South India. Then North India, Ramananda, Kabir, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shankara Deva, Shankara Dasa, Dadu Dayal, Mirabai, Tulsidas, the Sikh gurus, the 10 Sikh gurus, starting from Guru Nanak Dev to the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh. So everything we study as part of this Bhakti and Sufi movement. And then Sufi movement, who are these Sufis? Various Sufi orders like Chisti, Qadri, Naqshbandi, Firdausi, important Chisti saints, important Suravardi saints, and what was their lifestyle like? What is their contribution? All those things. Hello, are you there with me? So we study about Indian architecture, Indian painting, Indian architecture including sculpture, Indian painting, then Indian music, dance, religions of India, schools of philosophy, Indian literature, Bhakti and Sufi movements, then Indian puppetry, different types of puppets, glow puppet, shadow puppet, rod puppet, string puppet. So known by different names in different parts of India. So puppetry is one thing, one more topic. Then coins of India from ancient times, medieval times, pre-Maurya period coins, Indo-Greek coins, coins issued by the Kushanas, Mauryas, Shakas, Gupta period coins, coins issued by the Delhi Sultans, Mughals, etc. So coins. Then science and technology of India down the ages. What was the status of science and technology in ancient India? Physics, chemistry, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, astrology. All these things all these subjects made remarkable progress in ancient times. What was the status of science and technology in medieval times? So all those things. Then cultural institutions of India, like Archaeological Survey of India, Lalit Kala Academy, Sahitya Academy, Indian Council of Historical Research, Indian Council of Cultural Relations, etc. So all those things. Then calendars of India, Vikrama Samvat, Shaka Samvat, Hijri era, Gregorian calendar. So UNESCO, cultural and world heritage sites. Then status of women down the ages. What was the status of women in ancient India during the Vedic period, Mauryan period, pre-Maurya, Gupta, medieval times? How was it? All those things. Then tribals of India, various aspects with respect to their life and culture. Generally, tribals, whoever tribals are in the news, tribal festival took place or some tribal dance was performed when the prime minister visited some place, etc., etc. So whatever is in the news becomes important. And important tribal dances, bamboo dance, bison dance, such things. Then education down the ages, status of education in ancient India, various subjects taught. Then important schools of education, important centers of education like Kashi or Kanchipuram, or the various universities like Nalanda University, Vikramashila University, subjects taught in them. What are the references given by various foreign travelers? What are the information given about these universities by various travelers? So education down the ages, okay, Buddhist education, then education amongst the Hindus, how was it, etc., etc., including British times. So before 1857, what was the status of education? What did the British do with respect to education? The Wood's Dispatch, all those things. Then Harding Report, Wood's Dispatch, and after 1857, once the Parliament took over, the British Parliament took over. So what are the various measures taken by the British to promote education? Then we have travelers who came to India from ancient times. Like, for example, Fahian, first Chinese traveler to come to India. What is the information he gives about India of those times? Hyun Sang, right? It Singh, then Al Masudi, Al Beruni, Suleiman, and the various travelers came to India during the Vijayanagar period, during the Mughal period. So all those things. What are the various information they give about India? And society and economy, specifically during Mauryan and Gupta period. right? Rebellions, revolts, movements like Satnami revolt, Jat revolt, peasant revolt, tribal revolts, lower caste movements, trade union movements. So that's part of modern India which you study. So all those things. And the leaders with revolutionary impact like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the Brahma Samaj, his contribution, Ishwachandra Vidyasagar, okay, Arya Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission. So all those things, right? And then of course you can mention handicrafts of India, and the various handicrafts. For example, the Prime Minister has this habit of giving gifts to people, dignitaries. He might have gone abroad to attend a conference or a function, so he gives some gifts to the dignitary there. Or some foreigner comes to India, so some memento is given by the Prime Minister, something unique to India, some part of India, handicraft. So that is in the news. That becomes important. Yeah. So all this is your topics on art and culture. This is your art and culture. Hello, are you there with me? So it is vast, definitely vast, but also interesting. Now, what can I shortlist? So what are the 8 topics? 8 topics are very important in this. You can see on your screen 8 topics. One is art and architecture. Art and architecture is one. Number 2 is painting. Number 3, music. Then number 4, dance. Number 5, literature. Then science and technology. Number 7, education. Number 8, religion and philosophy. These 8 topics are very important from the mains point of view also. Not only prelims, but also mains point of view. And the other topics revolve around this, right? Other topics revolve around these main topics: art and architecture, painting, Indian music, Indian dance, literature, science and technology, education, religion and philosophy, right? So you can expect questions both in the prelims and mains from these areas. Make a thorough study of these 8 topics. And other topics like puppetry and handicrafts, all those things revolve around these main topics. Did you get me? Hello? Yeah? So this is about your art and culture. What is the book list I can suggest? On your screen, you can see Bible is this, Nitin Singhania's Art and Culture, Indian Art and Culture, Nitin Singhania. Take the latest edition and read. Latest edition. Some chapters have been added, like travelers chapter have been added, I believe. So you can supplement whatever I have covered. I have covered quite a lot of information about travelers in my medieval India, ancient India, medieval India, conventional history section. Apart from that, you can read Nitin Singhania. So Nitin Singhania is a Bible. You can supplement that with the class lecture and the PPTs which have been given to you. Fine art book is also there. Fine art book, that is 11th standard NCRT, right? But Nitin Singhania should be done. Nitin Singhania, apart from Indian Express, Current Affairs, Indian Express Hindu, Indian Express and the Hindu newspaper. Whatever is there in the current affairs, you become thorough. And apart from that, our magazine, Byju's magazine. You can, if you want to, Kennedy, you can. I'll tell you, no, this is important. Indian Express, Hindu, whatever is there in the current affairs, apart from Nitin Singhania, conventional history. That should be sufficient. Any doubts, any questions here? So whatever is in the news, it's covered in your newspaper. Right. So this is your sort of overview of art and culture. Now let us come to first chapter, religious movements, Buddhism and Jainism. Hello? Uh, take a 5 minutes break and then I'll begin. Just take a 5 minutes break. I'll begin in 5 minutes. Exactly 2:15. I'll begin at 2:15. Just take a 5 minutes break. Hello? All of you? 5 minutes break. Lunch break at 3 to 3:40. Lunch break is at 3 o'clock, 3 to 3:40. Yeah. Good afternoon. Can we begin? Hello. Let us begin the first chapter of art and culture. I generally begin with this chapter, interesting chapter, religious movements, Buddhism and Jainism, Bhagavatism and Shaivism. Okay. So let us talk about this topic, religious movements. So here, look at the synopsis here on your screen. Importance of the 6th century BC, causes for the rise of heterodox sects. So we will discuss what is the meaning of heterodox here. So then Buddhism, everything about Buddhism, how Siddhartha became Gautama Buddha, his life, the teachings of Gautama Buddha, what is the Sangha, the monastic order established by the Buddha, the Sangha. So he laid down rules for the Sangha, Buddhist councils which took place, meetings which took place after the death of the Buddha, differences between Hinayana, Mahayana, the two main sects within Buddhism, what is Vajrayana Buddhism, spread of Buddhism, then causes for the decline of Buddhism, various reasons for the decline of Buddhism, Ashtamahasthanas, 8 holy places concerned, with respect to Buddhism. Ashta is 8. So 8 holy places of Buddhism. Questions which have appeared in the prelims as well as the mains from this topic. Right? So let's talk about this topic, interesting topic, Buddhism, importance of the 6th century BC. So what do you know about Buddhism? Hello, all of you? Anything random? What do you know about Buddhism? Gautam, okay. Hemalata says Gautam. Gautama, Hemalata, Gautama Buddha, Gautama. Okay, Gautam. Okay, Gautam. Nikhil, Dalai Lama. Okay. What else? A religion introduced by Gautama Buddha. Okay. Then of Kapila Vastu. Okay, Kennedy. Eightfold Path, Middle Path, says Jia. Great. Peaceful and attention. Okay, K.N. Prasad. Nikhil says Lumbini, Ashoka, Siddhartha, original name is a prince. Okay, so you know quite a lot about the Buddha. We'll talk about it. Interesting. So let us talk about the importance of the 6th century BC. 600 BC. Importance of 600 BC. Okay, let's start this topic. Importance of the 6th century BC. So here, 6th century BC is considered to be a revolution. It is considered to be a revolution. This period, 600 BC, is considered to be a revolution in the realm of thought and ideas, in the field of thought and ideas, in the realm of thought and ideas, or in the realm of religion and philosophy, in the field of religion and philosophy. For a number of religions were founded. So during this period, a number of religions were founded, not only in India but throughout the world. So it's considered to be a revolution in the field of, in the realm of thought and ideas, in the field of religion and philosophy. For a number of religions were founded. For example, we have Confucius. Confucius and Tao founded Confucianism and Taoism. So Confucius, a person called Confucius, philosopher, thinker, he founded Confucianism. We don't need to know the teachings of Confucius here. So he operated around the same time in the 6th century BC in China. So Confucius founded Confucianism and Tao founded Taoism. Okay, Tao founded Taoism. I hope there's no confusion. Hello? I hope there's no confusion. So Confucius and Tao founded Confucianism and Taoism in China. We have Shintoism, which was founded in Japan. Shintoism. So Shintoism was born in Japan at the same time. Then we have in Persia, Zoroastrianism, Zarathustra or Zoroaster founded Zoroastrianism in Persia, Iran. Persia is Iran, ancient Iran. And we have also the Greek philosophers, Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. They also operated around the same time. more or less the same time. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Now, what was the case in India? So, throughout the world, a number of religions were founded. Confucianism and Taoism in China, Shintoism in Japan, Zoroastrianism in Persia, and then we have the Greek philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. In India, around the 6th century BC, there were 62 sects. Understand this? There were 62 sects. And most of them were Gnostic. Most of them were Gnostic. What is the meaning of Gnostic? That is, they did not believe in the existence of God. Did not believe in God. So, out of these 62 sects, most of them were Gnostic. They did not believe in the existence of God. And probably Buddha was also influenced by the prevailing thought. Buddha was also influenced by the prevailing thought or ideas. Buddha has been called agnostic. Buddha has been called agnostic. Obviously, he was influenced by the prevailing thought of that period. So, what is the meaning of agnostic here? When Buddha was asked whether God exists or not, he did not give a concrete statement whether God exists or not. He totally ignored that question. So, he never answered that question, in other words. So, therefore, Buddha has been called agnostic. So, he did not say God exists, neither did he deny the existence of God. Therefore, Buddha is called agnostic. So, this is the introduction to this chapter, importance of the 6th century BC. Are you there with me? Hello? Clear? Okay. Now, let us look at the causes for the rise of heterodox sects. So, what is the meaning of heterodox here? First of all, what is the meaning of heterodox? Heterodox. Heterodox means which oppose the existing belief systems. Which opposed the existing belief system. Which oppose the existing belief system. That is the meaning of heterodox. Okay. Now, what was the existing belief here? Vedic religion. Most of them were practicing or following Vedic religion. And if you have to go back to your knowledge of ancient India. I have done this chapter Vedic period. Vedic period is divided into early Vedic period, later Vedic period. You remember, all of you? Hello. Early Vedic period or Rig Vedic period and later Vedic period. How was the religion in the early Vedic period? What were the important gods? The Aryans used to worship nature. Indra, Agni, Vayu, Varuna, Surya, Prithvi, Akasha, etc. So they used to worship nature gods. And it was a very simple and materialistic religion. People used to pray to gods for praja, and they used to make offerings of yava, wheat and barley, vegetables, fruits, okay, wheat and barley or yava. And they used to, in return, ask for praja, pashu, dhana. Praja, mainly sons. If children are born, let more sons be born. So praja, pashu is cattle, dhana is wealth. So it was a very simple and materialistic religion. Remember? Hello? Then later Vedic religion. What happened in the later Vedic period? Religion becomes complicated, costly, unintelligible. So it becomes costly, complex, unintelligible. On your screen, you can see religion became costly, complex, unintelligible. Costly, why? Complex, why? Because the emphasis was on elaborate rituals and sacrifices of animals. The emphasis was on elaborate rituals and sacrifices of animals. And unintelligible because all the religious instruction was in Sanskrit. All the instruction was in Sanskrit. Therefore, people could not understand the Vedic religion. So it was costly, complex, unintelligible. It was not able to satisfy the spiritual yearnings of a common man. So let's say I'm a poor farmer. I have a lot of problems in my life, right? I have a lot of problems in my life. I go to the Purohit, I go to the Brahmana priest, and I tell my problems to him. And I seek a solution. I tell him, please give me a solution so that my problems are to a large extent reduced. So he might suggest that I perform these rituals, costly rituals, and I sacrifice, let us say, five cattle, 5 oxen, and feed about 100 people. I'm a very poor man. I cannot afford so much of money. and therefore I just give it up because the Vedic religion, in other words, was not able to satisfy the spiritual yearnings of a common man. He has given me a solution, but it is not practical for me. I cannot afford it. So Vedic religion had become costly, complex, and unintelligible. That is number one. Number two, the Brahminical domination was challenged. You can see on your screen. In the later Vedic period, how was the society? We have the Brahmana, then we have the Rajanya or the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, and the Shudra. On your screen, the Brahmana on top, followed by the Kshatriya or the Rajanya, then the Vaishya and the Shudra. But then the Brahmana began to claim superiority over the Kshatriya. Why did he claim himself to be superior to the Kshatriya? Because of the knowledge he had of the Vedas, of the Shastras, of the Upanishads, etc. So since he had a knowledge of all these scriptures, and including he knew how to perform those sacrifices like Ashwamedha, Rajasuya, Vajapeya, Agnistoma, Hiranyagarbha Yaga. So all these sacrifices were performed by the Purohita on behalf of the king to enhance the power of the king. So king was the one who was giving him money. And the Purohita, because of his knowledge of the Shastras, Vedas, etc., would perform these sacrifices. And because they were the repository of this knowledge, they were the benefactors of this knowledge, they were the only people who knew this knowledge. They began to claim superiority over the Kshatriyas. And this was not liked by the Kshatriyas. The Kshatriya king thought, I am the one who is giving me money to perform these sacrifices. And since they are performing the sacrifices, the Brahmana is claiming himself to be superior to the Kshatriya. So therefore, there was a Kshatriya backlash against the domination of the Brahmanas. On your screen, the Brahminical domination was challenged. Challenged by whom? By the Kshatriyas. Was challenged by the Kshatriyas. Both Buddha and Mahavira were Kshatriya princes. As you know, they were both Kshatriya princes. This is number two. Clear? So Vedic religion had become costly, complex, unintelligible. Brahminical domination was challenged by the Kshatriyas. Number three, Vaishyas. On your screen, look here on your, again I go back here. So among the four Varnas, you remember, I'll ask you a question. Among the four Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, only one paid taxes. Who was that Varna? Who only paid taxes? Nobody else paid taxes except that Varna. Yeah, you know that. Jia says Vaishya. Very good, Jia. So that's the answer. So only the Vaishya paid taxes. But what was his? Hemalat also says Vaishya. What was the position of the Vaishya in the society? Look at that pyramid there. What was the position of the Vaishya? He was third. And the Vaishya felt, we are the principal taxpayers. We are the only people paying taxes. But our position is third in the society. The Vaishyas wanted to improve their social position. They wanted to go a few notches above than what they were earlier. And the Vaishyas were the ones who began to promote Buddhism and Jainism. They were the ones who gave generous donations to the Sangha, both the Buddhist Sangha and the Jain Sangha. And they began to promote these two religions because they wanted to improve their social status. So this is number two. Number three, Kennedy, nobody else was allowed to pay. Nobody was paying except the Vaishyas. The Brahmana did not pay, the Kshatriya did not pay, the Shudra also was not expected to pay. Only the Vaishyas paid taxes. Okay, so we have done this, Kennedy, right? So Vaishyas. So they wanted to improve their social position. So right there, Vaishyas wanted to improve their social status. They wanted to improve their social status. Okay. Next, new agricultural economy. Look here on your screen. I'll ask you a question. What was the main occupation in the later Vedic period? What was the main occupation in the later Vedic period? All of you know this. Jia says agriculture. Very good. Agriculture was the main occupation. Kennedy, Hemlata. Very good. So, what was the main occupation? Agriculture. Now, and agriculture was dependent on oxen, cattle. Agriculture was the main occupation. And to plow the land, you require oxen, you require cattle. So it was very important to have a sufficient number of cattle, oxen, cows, bullocks, etc., to engage in agriculture. But then the Vedic religion gave emphasis on elaborate rituals and sacrifices of animals. Thousands and lakhs of animals, like oxen, bullocks, etc., came to be sacrificed, supposedly to appease the gods, to please the gods, and to satisfy the spiritual yearnings of the people of those days. So there was a drastic depletion in the cattle wealth. The population of the cattle drastically declined, and this was against the agricultural economy. This was against the new agrarian economy, which was dependent on cattle wealth. And both Buddha and Mahavira spoke about ahimsa, spoke about non-violence. And these teachings of Buddha and Mahavira became very, very popular because it was very much similar to what was required in the new agrarian economy, which was dependent on cattle. Okay. So this is another reason. Break, Ketan, it's at 3 o'clock. Break is at 3 o'clock. I gave you a 5 minutes break. So lunch break is at 3 o'clock. 3 to 3:40, 40 minutes lunch break. So you have to wait, Ketan. Okay, so are you there with me? So new agrarian economy. So it was dependent on cattle, oxen, and therefore the teachings of Buddha and Mahavira, they spoke about ahimsa, and therefore their teachings became very, very popular among all sections, including the agrarian classes. Next, we have 6 philosophers who gave their philosophies on your screen. So you can see here a cattle is being slaughtered. It is being sacrificed. Then we come to Shaddarshana, 6 philosophies. So there were 6 philosophers who gave their own method to attain moksha. What is moksha? What is moksha? Hello? What is moksha? Moksha is freedom from rebirth. Freedom from rebirth. Freedom from rebirth. Free from rebirth. Very good, Shilpa. Ketan says, Janma Mrityu se. It doesn't explain. Okay, stop life cycle. Very good. Here, moksha is freedom from rebirth. So here, you don't want to be reborn on this earth, because if you are reborn on this earth, however rich or poor you are, you have to go through the ups and downs of life. You have to go through problems. So the ultimate aim of a human being is to attain moksha, freedom from rebirth, so that you're always in heaven, enjoying the life of heaven. Now, there were 6 philosophers who gave their own method to attain moksha, and people got confused. On your screen, you can see here, these are the 6 philosophers. Sankhya philosophy, given by Kapila. So Sankhya philosophy, we'll deal with philosophy later. When we do later, we have a philosophy topic, we'll do that. So Kapila gave the philosophy of Sankhya. Patanjali gave the philosophy of yoga. Patanjali said, you do yoga, you'll attain moksha. Kapila said, you follow the path of Sankhya and you will attain moksha. Akshapada Gautama, Nyaya philosophy. Vaisheshika by Kannada. Purva Mimamsa by Jaimini. Uttara Mimamsa or Vedanta by Vyasadeva Bhadrayana. So people got confused. They did not know which method to follow, whether it is yoga or Sankhya or Vaisheshika or Nyaya. So people got confused because there was no one method to attain moksha. There were so many. And ultimately, we have the simple teachings and vernacular language of the Buddha and the Mahavira. So Buddha's teachings, Mahavira teachings were more ethical and moralistic in nature. They were more ethical and moralistic, how a person is supposed to conduct himself or herself in the family, in the society. So the teachings were more ethical, full of morals. It was more ethical and moralistic in nature, devoid of any rituals and sacrifices, no elaborate rituals, no rituals at all. How a person is supposed to conduct himself, behave himself in his family and in the society. So, and it was in a simple language, vernacular language. Buddha spoke in Pali, and Mahavir spoke in Ardhamagadi. And these two are dialects of Prakrit. These two are dialects of Prakriti. Buddha spoke in Pali and Mahavira spoke in Ardhamagadi. These are two dialects of Prakrit. and people were easily able to understand what the Buddha is trying to say, what Mahavira was trying to say. So these are the various reasons for the rise of heterodox sects, the popularity of Buddhism, Jainism, Charvaka, Lokayata, or Ajivika sect. These are all called heterodox sects. They oppose the existing belief systems. They oppose the existing belief system is they oppose the Vedic religion. Okay, are you there with me? Hemalata talks about logic. We'll talk about it. Hemalata, when I talk about philosophy topic, I'll come to Sankhya philosophy of Kapila. Kapila was the one who gave the Sankhya philosophy. Okay, now let us come back here. So everything about Buddhism. Okay, they're dialects of Prakrit. They're dialects of Prakrit, Pali and Ardhamagadi. Buddha spoke in, I told you, Buddha spoke in Pali, Kennedy, and Mahavir spoke in Ardhamagadi. These two are dialects of Prakrit. Both are dialects of Prakrit. Kennedy, are you there with me? These two are dialects of Prakrit. Okay. So let us come to Buddhism. Very interesting topic. So we'll be discussing all these things about Buddha. Now look here. So Gautama Buddha. So you can see a picture here. This is Lord Buddha sitting in the Dharma Chakra Pravartana Mudra. So when he gave his first discourse, first pravachan, in Hindi it's called pravachan or discourse in English, first teaching when he gave, he sat in this particular posture with that mudra. That is called Dharma Chakra Pravartana Mudra. Dharma Chakra Pravartana Mudra. Dharma Chakra Pravartana Mudra. So Lord Buddha sat in this position. Okay, we'll come back here. Now, Gautama Buddha, he lived for totally 80 years. You can see on your screen 563 to 483 BC. This is the most acceptable lifespan of the Buddha. 563 to 483 BC. He totally lived for 80 years. Now look here. Whatever has been written about the Buddha was written 200 to 300 years after his death. 200 to 300 years after his death. So whatever has been written about the Buddha was written 200 to 300 years after his death by the Sri Lankan Buddhist monks. By the Sri Lankan Buddhist monks. And because of this time lag, gap between his between his death and what has been written about him, lots of facts have got mixed up with fiction. Lots of facts have got mixed up with fiction. So I repeat, whatever has been written about Lord Buddha was written 200 to 300 years after his death. By whom? By the Sri Lankan Buddhist monks. By the monks of Sri Lanka. By the Buddhist monks of Sri Lanka. And because of this time gap or time lag between his death and what was written about him, lots of facts have got mixed up with fiction. So when I narrate the story of the Buddha, when I tell you the story of the Buddha, please don't use your rational brain. Keep your rational brain aside. Because this is what the Buddhists believe. This is what the Buddhists believe has true. The Buddhists believe this has to be true. And therefore, we have to respect that. So don't use your rational brain. Okay, how can this be possible? Right? And we have some fantastic stories in all religions, including Hinduism. For example, Hanuman carried the mountain. Who's that? Lakshmana he was hurt grievously by Indrajit. Ravana's son Indrajit shot an arrow, and Lakshmana was on his deathbed, literally on his deathbed, and only one herb could have cured him. That is Sanjeevani. So Hanuman flew, right? And then he could not find that Sanjivani in that mountain. So he carried the entire mountain and came back and placed it. Now, if you use a logical brain, then you will understand. I mean, how can that sign? Logically, it's not possible. You have to carry an entire mountain, that too in your hand, and then come landing, right? So this is considered to be true. Thousands of years, people have believed that to be true, and therefore, we also have to respect it and consider it as true. So similarly, we have some fantastic stories in all religions, including Buddhism. So therefore, don't use your rational brain. We'll come back here, right? I have not said anything wrong against Sanatan, the religion, Ketan. When did I say I have told wrong? I'm saying, rationally speaking, scientifically speaking, a person cannot fly. Okay, can I fly? Can you fly? But then how come? But it is believed to be true, right? That Hanuman flew, and then he carried an entire mountain in his hand and came down. So logically speaking, it may be difficult, but then it is considered to be part of the belief system. So I'm not insulting anything here. I'm just giving an example. We'll come back here. So here, did you get them? Did you get Ketan? Yeah. So we'll come back here. Now, Gautama Buddha, we rely entirely on hagiography and allegorical stories connected with the life of the Buddha. What is hagiography? Hagiography is religious biography. Hagiography is religious biography. Religious biography. And allegory means mystery stories. Hagiography is religious biography, and allegory is mystery stories connected with the life of the Buddha. So we rely entirely on religious biography or hagiography and allegorical stories, mystery stories connected with the life of the Buddha. Clear? Now, there are three main sources for the study of Buddhism. Ceylonese Chronicles, the Book of Sri Lanka. So what are the various books of Sri Lanka? So I'll write here, I'll use another page. So I'll write here only on your screen. So what are the Ceylonese Chronicles, the books of Sri Lanka? Mahamamsha by Mahanama. Dvipavamsha and Kulavamsha. Sorry, the Mahavamsha by Mahanama, Dvipavamsha and Attakatha. Attakatha, written by Vattagamani. Mahavamsha by Mahanama, written by Mahanama. Then Dvipavamsha and Attakatha by Vattagamani. So these are the Ceylonese Chronicles. That is the books of Sri Lanka. Ceylon is, I know, another word for Sri Lanka. Ceylonese Chronicles. Books of Sri Lanka. Then we have the Chinese Chronicles and then Tibetan Chronicles. But we rely mostly on Ceylonese Chronicles. We rely on Ceylonese Chronicles because they're considered to be more authentic. They're considered to be more authentic. Okay, they're considered to be more authentic. So let us talk about Gautama Buddha. On your screen, what was his original name? All of you, I'm sure most of you know this type of information. We'll talk about the life of the Buddha now. Original name of Buddha. Students, all of you know this. What was the original name? Real name. Array. Hello? What was the name of Buddha? Original name. Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible? Please raise your hands. Yeah, now it's visible. Okay. Am I audible? Visible now? Yeah. Clear? Can you raise your hands? Yes. Is it right? It's audible, is it? Okay. Siddhartha. Okay. Original name Siddhartha. Okay. Very good. Siddhartha. Original name Siddhartha. So his real name was Siddhartha. Father's name. Father's name. Anybody? Father's name? Suddhodana. Very good. Ketan says Suddhodana. Okay. Suddhodana. Suddhodana. Mother? Mahamaya. Very good. Mahamaya. Also called Maya Devi. She was a princess of Koshala. Princess of Koshala. Princess of Koshala. Gotra. He belonged to the Gautama Gotra. That's why it's called Gautama Buddha. So he belonged to the Gautama Gotra. Clan. Clan. Which clan? Sakya. Very good, Hemlata. Sakya clan. Therefore, Buddha is also called Sakya Muni. He belonged to Sakya clan. Hence, Buddha is also called Sakya Muni. Sakya Muni. Now look here, listen to the story. The story goes like this. On your screen, the story goes like this. I believe father and mother, that is Suddhodana and Mahamaya, husband and wife, they did not have children for a long time. Suddhodana was the elected ruler of Kapilavastu. On your screen, Suddhodana was the elected ruler of Kapilavastu. Elected ruler of Kapilavastu. Where is Kapilavastu? In the Nepal Tarai. In the Nepal Tarai, present day Nepal. That is Nepal Tarai. Tarai is the lower reaches of the Nepal Himalayas. So he was the elected ruler of Kapilavastu. Mahamaya was his queen, a princess of Koshala. Now the story goes that they did not have children for a long time, and one night, when Mahamaya was sleeping along with her husband, she experienced a beautiful dream. Now I'll tell you the story of the Buddha. Please understand here. I'll tell you the story. The reason why I'm telling you the story is it will remain in your mind for a long time and you'll be able to answer all the questions, at least 99% of the questions asked by the UPSC in the prelims, right? So at the end of this session, once we finish Buddhism, we'll have questions. So you should be able to answer most of the questions. So the story is relevant here. Otherwise, I wouldn't have wasted my time telling you stories. So we'll come back here. So Mahamaya experienced a dream. In that dream, a white elephant appears in a dream. A white elephant with 4 tusks. So it had 4 tusks. In this picture, as you can see, there are 6 tusks. I did not find any picture of an elephant with 4 tusks, with Mahamaya sleeping. So therefore, I'm helpless. Minus one tusk. So minus 1 tusk here. No tusk. Only 4 tusks. Okay. So a 4 tusk elephant came. 4 tusked elephant appears. It's a white elephant. And this elephant, Nikhil, it's not Airavat. Airavat is Indra's mount. This is another elephant. And Airavat is a 7-trunked elephant. 2 tusks, 7 trunks. Okay, and white in color. 7 trunks, 2 tusks. That is Airavat. This is another elephant, brother of Airavat. This one, okay. Four-tusked elephant, white in color, white in color. And this elephant was standing next to a lake in the Himalayas, Anavatapta. Anavatapta, name of the lake near the Himalayas. And this elephant appears in a dream and offers a lotus flower to Mahamaya. It offers a lotus flower. And Mahamaya experienced this beautiful dream. It was very, very real, I believe. And she accepted the lotus flower. She accepts the lotus flower, and the dream was over. The elephant disappeared. And then the queen opened her eyes. And then she realized, my God, this was a dream, and it was such a real dream. So she woke up her husband. Her husband was sleeping next to her. She woke him up, and then she narrated the sequence of the dream. And he was equally excited. He was equally excited. And next morning, the couple, the royal couple, consulted the court astrologers. They consulted the court astrologers. After all, they were the king and the queen, and there were astrologers, soothsayers in the court of Kapilavastu. And they asked the soothsayers, the astrologers, to interpret the dream. So the astrologers, I believe, they went into a huddle. They discussed about this dream, and then they came to a conclusion. They said that this is a very beautiful dream, and therefore, what is the meaning of this dream? They said that this is the impending sign of a great soul. This dream suggests that a son will be born to Mahamaya very shortly. A son. So she'll be giving birth to a son, and this son who will be born to Mahamaya and Suddhodana will be either a great king or a great teacher, philosopher. So either he'll be a great king or a great teacher. So this is the meaning of the dream. That's what they said. So Suddhodana was excited. Father, he thought, I believe he made a decision. Even before Buddha was born, he took a decision that once a son is born to him, he will want him to be a great king, not a teacher or a philosopher. He wants his son to be a king, not a philosopher. Now understand this. What is the meaning of this elephant handing over a lotus flower, handing a lotus flower to Mahamaya? What is the meaning of this? Elephant comes in the dream and hands over a lotus flower to Mahamaya. It refers to the divine conception of the Buddha. Understand this? It refers to the divine conception of the Buddha. That is, when Mahamaya accepted the lotus flower, that way she became pregnant. She did not become pregnant through the biological process, how humans become pregnant. Here, elephant came and gave a lotus flower, and she accepted the lotus flower, and she became pregnant. You understand? That is the meaning of this dream. That is the interpretation of this dream. Divine. It refers to the divine conception of the Buddha. Are you there with me? Don't use your rational brain. That's why I told you. Ketan, let us not talk about that. Is Buddha the form of Sri Hari? I mean, we'll come to that later. Don't worry about it. We'll come to that. I'll answer your question later. So it refers to the divine conception of the Buddha. So she receives the lotus flower, she becomes pregnant. And the time for delivery had come. She had run through the full course of her pregnancy. 9 months. 9 months had passed by. The time for delivery was near. And generally in India, please understand, generally in India, and including probably Nepal, the first child is born in the parental house of the would-be mother. The first child is born in the parental house of the would-be mother. So therefore, Mahamaya had to travel from her husband's house to her parental house for delivery. So her husband's house was what? Kapilavastu. Her husband's house was Kapilavastu. And she had to travel to Devadaha. Devadaha was her parental house. So she had to travel from Kapilavastu to Devadaha, and she was the queen. She has to travel for delivery there. And she was not alone, obviously. You have a royal entourage. You have hundreds of servants, soldiers, and the queen is being taken in a palanquin held by the servants. And also there are maid servants accompanying the queen. And they're traveling slowly because she's a pregnant lady. Time for delivery is very near, so she has to be handled very carefully, very delicately. So they're traveling towards Devadaha. On the way, I believe, there was a sal grove. So there was a sal grove. So a grove full of sal trees like this. Imagine there's a sal grove, a grove full of sal trees. These are sal trees. So it was a shady area. A lot of shade was there. There was one Pushkarni pool. There was a pool also. There's a pool. And the royal party decided to take rest there. So cool breeze was blowing. It was a very shady place. So they thought, let us take some rest here in this nice place, and then we'll continue the journey. Even let the queen take rest because she'll be very tired. She cannot travel continuously because she's a pregnant lady, fully pregnant lady. So there was one pool here, Pushkarni pool, fresh water pool, Pushkarni pool. So the royal party decided to take rest there. Mahamaya also got down from the palanquin and then she entered the pool. She wanted to take a bath there in that pool. So she enters the pool. She takes a lovely bath, a fresh bath. She felt very nice. And just as she was about to get out of the pool, the time for delivery had come. The time for delivery had come. So you see, as babies, we are all floating in the amniotic fluid of our mother's tummy. So we are all floating in that amniotic fluid. And once the bubble bursts, when that balloon bursts, so that is the time when the mother knows, the would-be mother knows that time for delivery has come. So she understood it. Probably the balloon burst, the amniotic fluid was out, and then she understood the time for delivery had come. Are you there with me? All of you, can you raise your hands? Okay. Now my balloon has burst. We'll go for a break. I'm also hungry. I'm sure all of you are hungry. It's time now. Another 2 minutes for lunch. So we'll go for a 2 minutes early lunch break. We'll meet at 3:40 and continue the story. Okay. So you fill up your bubble and come back. 3:40 p.m. We'll meet at 3:40 p.m. Okay. All of you clear? 3:40 p.m. We'll come back and we'll continue the story of the Buddha. Lunch break. Okay. Carry on.